It is a football Friday night once again, the quarterfinal round of the Alabama High School Athletic Association State Football Playoffs. This is high school football, Alabama's After the Game. Jon Holder, Coach Michael Short, Chad Barnett, our entire hard-working After the Game crew with you all the way until midnight tonight, covering the quarterfinal round of the playoffs. Every score in the state of Alabama, all the semifinal games are set. The state championship game is set. We've got a lot of special guests coming in. Highlights from all over North and East Alabama coming your way tonight. A full show, our last show of the season, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Right now, as always, we begin with catching you up on all the local scores, and we're going to do that right now as we take you to our USA Softball of Alabama scoreboard on this football Friday night. We will have highlights of this game. Number 1, Montgomery Catholic. They came into Jacksonville's Golden Eagle Stadium tonight, beating number 8 Jacksonville, knocking them out of the 4A playoffs for the second consecutive year, the second year in a row at Golden Eagle Stadium. Almost the same score as last year. Last year was 44-27. Tonight it was 44-20. Let's give some kudos to Jacksonville, though. They scored the most points on Montgomery Catholic of any team this year through 13 games. A nice season for Jacksonville. The Golden Eagles finish at 10-3. Montgomery Catholic goes to 13-0 as they move to the state semifinals. Next week, final score again, Montgomery Catholic 44 and Jacksonville 20. Highlights of that game coming from Golden Eagle Stadium a little bit later on After the Game. Also tonight, number 6 Wadley. They were basically on the road tonight at Pickens County, taking on the Tornadoes. You know, we've said for so many years that the Pickens County Tornadoes, the Class 1A North anyway, runs through Reform, Alabama. Well, that was true again this year, and it happened again tonight. Number 6 Wadley went in as the favorite tonight. They jumped on the Tornadoes 14-0 over at GS Sproul Stadium in Reform tonight. But Pickens County scored the last 18 points of the game, and here's Pickens County in the North Alabama Championship game once again. Pickens County beating Wadley tonight 18-14. The final score is Pickens County once again in the North Alabama Championship game of Class 1A. Another team that was on the road tonight from East Alabama, a long way from home, the number 1 ranked B.B. Comer Tigers of Sylacauga. B.B. Comer at Clark County tonight at Prim Stadium, and B.B. Comer pours it on Clark County 42-22. B.B. Comer remains undefeated 13-0. They will be playing in the South Alabama Championship game in Class 2A next week against Reeltown at Legion Stadium in Sylacauga. This is the only game in the state that is not final. This was the AHSAA television game of the week. A lot of, not really injuries, but a lot of, they had penalties. They had a lot of scoring. There are a lot of delays. There are a lot of TV timeouts. So there's still about 5 minutes still to go in this game over at Moody. We were there. My crew was there, and we're going to bring you highlights of this game from Bill Morris Stadium. Ramsey right now leading Moody, about 5 minutes to go in the game, 40-21. Ramsey 40, Moody 21. Ramsey, of course, your defending Class 5A state champion. Moody gave them all they wanted. You'll see that in our highlights coming up as Moody actually led this game until deep in the third quarter. Ramsey started pulling away in the fourth quarter. It does appear, barring some kind of miracle comeback by Moody, that Ramsey will again be in the North Alabama Championship game of Class 5A next week. We'll have a final score as soon as that game ends, which looking like it may be close to 10:30 before that game ends down at Moody. Also tonight, a missed extra point. Number 5 West Morgan lost their first game of the year tonight. They were the 3rd leading scoring team in the state, averaging 53 points a game. Cherokee County held them to half of that tonight over in Trinity, and Cherokee County, they made their extra points and they win the game. Huge win on the road tonight. Cherokee County Warriors coming back to center with a victory. Number 4 Cherokee County beats West Morgan tonight 28-27 for the second year in a row. Cherokee County will be moving to the North Alabama Championship game in Class 4A as they will go back over to North Alabama next week as they'll go to Huntsville to take on Westminster Christian. One team that had no problem tonight was Coosa Christian. We will have highlights of this game as well. Number 9 Coosa Christian at home in Gadsden Philip Ellen Stadium, beating number 10 Hackleburg. They beat them 51-8 last year in the first round. Tonight they beat them 63-13. That game over at Philip Ellen Field at Coosa Christian. Coosa Christian for the second year in a row taking on Pickens County in the North Alabama Championship game. Last year, it was Pickens County with a Hail Mary pass on the last play of the game to break Coosa's Hearts 44-40 and send them to the Super 7. This time the game will be in Gadsden, a rematch of last year's North Alabama Championship game between Coosa Christian and Pickens County. And a tough loss tonight, but a great season for the Gadsden City Titans. Gadsden City on the road tonight in Birmingham, taking on the Parker Thundering Herd. Number 5 Parker beating Gadsden City, ending the Titans season at 9-4. But a great season for Gadsden City as Parker beats Gadsden City tonight in the 6A playoffs by a score of 35-20. Our fine folks at Ron's Barbecue, they're in the house again tonight. And I've been eating some chicken fingers this year on the show and some wings and things like that. And they brought us some great chicken fingers tonight, but they also brought us some ribs. Now, I know the Iron Bowl is tomorrow. And if you want to maybe go out to Ron's Barbecue, Highway 144 in Alexandria, and you look at these ribs right here. I'm about to eat one of these as we go to break. They've got all kind of packs. They've got all kinds of things. There's some of those ribs in the pan tonight. Chicken fingers, wings, barbecue, smash burgers, you name it. Got great desserts as well. Everything you need. There's those chicken fingers right there. Everything you need for the Iron Bowl tailgate tomorrow. Ron's Barbecue, Highway 144 in Alexandria. Go by and see them. They will have you taken care of for any of your tailgate needs. Or if you just want to go in and eat at the restaurant tomorrow, they got the TVs out there and you can watch the Iron Bowl on television at Ron's Barbecue, Highway 144 in Alexandria. Show you how good these are. Man, tender, outstanding, good stuff as we go to break on this football Friday night. We'll be back in a moment.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shivers, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
After 15 years of supplying top quality, name brand sports equipment and team apparel to hundreds of Alabama schools, coaches, and athletes, and continuing to provide custom uniforms, embroidery, and screen printing, Team Sports is adding a new player. Coming soon, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Whether you're an athlete in search of football helmets, bats, or even cleats, or an outdoor enthusiast in search of apparel from top brands, McClellan Sports and Outdoors has you covered. Visit McClellansports.com for more information.
My dad taught me to fish right here years ago. But when an old sports injury started slowing him down, I knew we'd need to search for the latest procedures in knee and hip replacement. With physical therapy tailored to his needs, a dedicated team of doctors and nurses, and he'd want a fast recovery time. So where'd he find all that?
Right here at RMC.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at PeeWeeTurnerMotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
We'll go back in a few moments to our USA Softball of Alabama scoreboard. They've been bringing you all of our local scores throughout the year here on High School Football Alabama's After the Game. You can visit usasoftballofalabama.com. They also have a great Facebook page. Look for USA Softball of Alabama on Facebook. Of course, they are the national governing body of softball in the United States and in the state of Alabama. Since 1933, USA Softball has become one of the nation's largest and fastest growing sports organizations. Started off with a few hundred teams, grew to over 120,000 teams today. USASoftballofalabama.com. Check them out on Facebook at USA Softball of Alabama. We're back on After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Special guest with us from Ted's Floors and Beyond, Kathy Gregerson, Kayla Gregerson with us. Ladies, glad to have you with us here.
Thank you. Good to be here, John.
We talk a lot about Ted's on this show. They have been great partners with High School Football Alabama after the game, because I think, you know, one of the great things that we do because of you guys is we're able to go out and present our Team of the Week, which has become really coveted now because we come out with Ted shirts, we come out with our Anston Orthopedic Score shirts, and we also come out with our Tough Guy trophy and a lot of hoopla in addition. And the folks from Ted's come with us as well. So we're just really grateful with the partnership that we've had with the Team of the Week.
Yeah, we've had a great time with you, John. We love to go to all the different schools and see all the kids and present them with the shirts and the trophies and just be a help to the community. And I mean, it's just fun to see everybody get excited about high school football.
One of the things I love about it is we never know. Literally, till we get in here, sometimes we don't know until maybe 11:30 or midnight who Team of the Week is going to be. We kind of speculate on where we might be. But Kathy, as you know, we go everywhere. We're Cherokee County, Etowah County, Calhoun, Cleburne, Talladega, Clay County. Well, I mean, we're everywhere.
Yes, exactly. And that's what we like to do, is just go around the surrounding areas and just help you guys out with the sponsorships that we do with y'all, and then help all the local schools in anything.
You know, and Ted's, that's because you guys go everywhere.
Yes.
I can attest to you, I've said this many times on the show, I had some flooring done, I had some hardwoods, had some carpet put in, and they came out and they do free estimates and do a great job with that. And so you'll go anywhere. If people are watching this here in East Alabama, you're going to go wherever they are to get those estimates.
Absolutely, and it's a free estimate, so we don't mind. Just give us a call. We'll bring samples to you. You don't even have to come into the showroom. We'll make it easy.
You know, it took me a couple of weeks. It used to be Ted's floors and carpets and things like that. And so I had to get out of that into Ted's Floors and Beyond. And because of that, the reason is just within the last few months, you have added Welborn cabinets.
Yes.
And you've added a lot more. So it's not just floors. That's why we're saying Floors and Beyond.
Floors and Beyond.
Because now you can really kind of redo your whole house,
right? Yeah,
right?
we're basically, hopefully, a one-stop shop. So not only do we do flooring, we do tile, we do countertops, cabinets now. So anything that you're wanting to do inside your home. We also do some exterior work around pools and outdoor kitchens and stuff like that. So we are definitely going beyond what we started out with 27 years ago and trying to make ourselves a one-stop shop for everybody.
I would encourage folks to come by your showroom, very centrally located right there on US Highway 431 in Sachs, right off the highway there. You got a great showroom there where folks can see all of this.
Yes, they can. They can. We welcome you all. We're there from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and then from 10 until 2 on Saturdays. And come in, we'll welcome you. We'll offer you something to drink, something to eat. If you've got children, we'll offer them a toy. whatever you want to do, just come have fun with us.
You know, and the quality, as I've said before, when I tell you about the different sponsors we have and the different businesses we have, I believe in every one of those, and I believe in Ted's Floors and Beyond because of my personal experience with them. Way before you guys even came on board with us, I was doing business with you guys, getting new carpet, new tile, all those kind of things, the hardwoods at my house, and everything is done with excellence, 100%. and great people. I think, the difference in businesses to me, the people and the people that you have at Ted's Fours and Beyond are fantastic.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. We try to do good and try to be good people, and thankfully we've not had a lot of turnover. Everybody that's there with us has been there for 20 plus years, so we're going strong.
A couple of things going back to the football end of things I want to talk about is we mentioned our Aniston Orthopedic score shirts that we bring out, but you guys started doing something with your own shirts, and you bring out another set of shirts. So when you're our team of the week, not only do you get a trophy and you get the score shirt, which is awesome, but you get another set of shirts, usually in the team colors of the team of the week.
We try to get the team colors as close as possible, and so of course you have to get those before the season starts, so you kind of have to guess as to what you're going to do or who's going to do what. But yeah, we try to give the school colors just to show that, how we support them and appreciate them.
And one more thing, we're not done yet. Even this is our last show tonight. We're going to award a Ted's Fours and Beyond Team of the Year.
Yes.
We're going to see how things shake out next week because we still have some local teams left in the playoffs.
Yes.
So we're going to see how that shakes out, but we're going to have a Team of the Year. So we're excited about that.
I'm excited about it. Let's get it going.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. As always, it's kind of a tradition. You come on our last show of the year, and we just appreciate all that you do for the local high schools, High School Football Alabama, and all the local schools all across East Alabama with our Ted's Fours and Beyond Team of the Week.
Thank you, John. Thanks for having us.
Kathy Gregerson and Kayla Gregerson with us tonight from Ted's Fours and Beyond. Time for our first extra point of the night, presented by Red Threads. Ticket prices will change for the AHSAA Playoffs semifinals and Super 7 games. Semifinal tickets will be $12 plus fees online through GoFan and $14 cash at the gate. Super 7 tickets are $15 plus fees at GoFan and $17 cash at Bryant-Denny Stadium in a couple of weeks. Back with more of After the Game.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch.
The perfect stop. These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of
Dedicated.
dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
Can I help make pancakes, Dad?
Of course, buddy. I absolutely love these cabinets we have here in our showroom. And as much as you like these right here, the options on this kitchen over here, I think you're going to... For real, Randall?
I love this kitchen.
Let's do a kitchen makeover in your home.
Fair enough.
Seriously, guys?
We made you one.
Okay. We ought to do this more often.
We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. A place to use the gifts and talents God has given you. A place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
Red Threads, powered by O-Brand, bringing you our extra points every Friday night. They have officially licensed JSU apparel. They have local high school team gear this year. And if you need custom apparel for your company or your event that's coming up, they have that as well. They're located on the square in Jacksonville. They provide our muscle team shirts. They provide our Anniston Orthopedic score shirts that we just talked about with Kathy and the folks here from Ted's Floors and Beyond. Red Threads, powered by O-Brand, bringing you our extra points every Friday night here on High School Football Alabama's After the Game. Presented by the Calhoun County Commission, back with Coach Michael Short making his first appearance of the year. And we're going to go and hit the cat out of the bag right here. We have another end of the year award. I'm holding in my hand right here one of the Tough Guy trophies from Awards to Remember. And this says Johnson's Giant Food After the Game 2023 Concession Stand of the Year. You can probably guess right there, Panthers SG. If you don't know what that means Spring Garden High School Tip-Off Club. The Spring Garden High School Tip-Off Club. They run the concession stand at Spring Garden, and Coach Short and Don Wilson. Now, Don is out of town. Don is in Texas, so he couldn't be here tonight. But, Coach, you're going to have to tell folks why Spring Garden got this award right here as our Johnson's Giant Food Concession Stand of the Year.
Well, Marcus, just to let you know, there was a lot of people out there, a lot of concession stands.
Right.
We went to, 11 weeks?
11 weeks.
11 weeks of going to concession stands and trying to gain weight. And the only place I could gain any weight was at Spring Garden.
All right. Well, that's our goal.
That has to be one of the best steak sandwiches that I've ever had.
It's been around for a while.
It has. Plus, what also to me was impressive was the hospitality of all the people out there in the concession stand, in the community, and everything that y'all do. It was just top notch, A1. Nobody beats it.
Well, we appreciate that compliment, Coach.
So we're going to present that to you. You can put that in the concession stand.
Right.
So when visiting teams come to Spring Garden next year, they will know that you're kind of the concession stand champions. Marcus, you're the president of the Tip-Off Club.
Yes, sir.
So tell us about, there's more than just the Spring Garden steak sandwich. As we're seeing right here in this video when we were out there, you got all kind of items. You introduced this year chicken, is that right?
Yeah, we did some marinated chicken, at times, and and then one of our good, our members there, Stephen Jones, here you go, Coach. Stephen Jones went out to Wyoming and he killed an antelope and brought it back, and he said, "Hey, I'm gonna bring something special tonight," and we didn't really know what he was gonna do, and he came in with this antelope. And I've never had any antelope. We don't have any around here, and he put a piece of jalapeno, some cream cheese, he wrapped it in bacon, put a toothpick through it, brought it out. Coach, I think you got to try some of that, and
Several.
and it was, they were just great, but we do a lot of things. Tim, I got him here tonight. He's the vice president, but one night at baseball, he got hungry. He likes to eat, and he came up with a thing that's called taco fries. And yeah, it sounds silly, and you'll probably never get it at any Mexican restaurant, but Tim came up with taco fries, and it is just taco meat, fries. We put sour cream, queso cheese, jalapenos, salsa, whatever you want on it, and it's almost overtaking the steak sandwich. So as good as the steak sandwiches are, it's almost overtaking the steak sandwich.
No, that's not going to happen.
Well,
not while I'm there, it's not.
Marcus, the fine folks of Spring Garden, look at this, folks. They were just so awesome tonight. They brought our entire crew the actual Spring Garden steak. Coach has already started on his over there. I'm going to take a bite out of this. Look at this right here. This is ribeye steak, is that right?
That's correct.
Ribeye steak that they put on the grill out there. And it's very simple, right? I'm not going to ask to give away secrets, but basically this is steak and bread, right?
It's steak and bread. We got a little marinade we put on it. We go about a day ahead of time, and it's just, it started in 2005, Mackey Sides, went over to a local grocery store, got them to start cutting a thin ribeye, and after that, we can't have a football game without having a steak sandwich. We will have people buy a ticket, come into the football game, and say, I didn't know we were just having football. I didn't know we weren't having steak sandwiches, you know, and they'll leave.
Tell them about the guys that pull up to the gate.
Yeah, yeah. So we cook down on the far end, and there will be people pull up to the gate down there and say, hey, I need 6 ribeye sandwiches. You know, not buying a football ticket, you know, but they'll come in and they'll get ribeye sandwiches. And of course, when you do that and you spoil people like that, they want it for basketball, they want it for softball, baseball, you know, or whatever. And you know, and during COVID, you know, prices got so bad we didn't think we were going to be able to do it. And the tip-off club actually lost a little bit of money, you know, because we had to have them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the people would not let us not have.
You saved your clientele.
We saved it, and you know, now prices have come back down. We're able to do it, you know, but the people of Spring Garden love it. We love it, and we appreciate their support.
Wow.
Now, you mentioned that sometimes at basketball games, since it's basketball season,
yes, sir,
you have these at basketball?
Yes, sir. We're hosting a county tournament this year over at Gadsden State Arena. We'll have the steak sandwiches there, and if there's a big game, you know, with our girls, you know, with the girls and boys playing varsity games, we'll definitely have the steak sandwiches there.
The attendance for the Cherokee County basketball tournament just went up.
It did.
You're going to have folks from outside of Cherokee
Right.
County that have no interest in Coach Short. He's going to come from Heflin all the way over there. Let me also say, let me make this clear, because everybody knows, I think, that I'm a Spring Garden guy. Yeah. I had no say-so with this. This was Coach Short and Don Wilson, who are not even in Cherokee County. One guy's in Heflin, one guy's in Jacksonville. They're the ones who picked this. And Coach, I had no influence, did I? None. He's talking. I'm going not like he's just shaking yes, no, because he's got the steak sandwich. Are there only one last question here? Are there only certain people that y'all let cook the sandwich?
Yeah, there's just a few.
Just a few.
There's just a few. We don't.
You don't turn it over to just anybody.
We don't give out a lot, you know. And we try to keep it, you know, close to people we trust.
We had one of our staff members who's not here tonight, but we had one of our staff members, not Don, not Coach, not me, who tried the steak sandwich a couple weeks ago for the first time, and this person said the steak sandwich was life-changing.
Right. Yeah, it'll change your life. more ways than one, but it'll definitely change your life. There's a lot of work that goes into it, you know. Not just the steak sandwich, but the tip-off club, the concession stand, you know, and all that. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into all that, and you know, the steak sandwich is just a staple at Spring Garden, and it's going to be there.
And the good folks in the Spring Garden Tip-Off Club, look at this. This is full of steak sandwiches for our crew tonight. So all I can tell you is look for a big Spring Garden home basketball game or the Cherokee County Tournament, the Gadsden State Arena and Center, and go check them out for yourself if you haven't had one. Marcus, thank you so much for being with us. Congratulations on being our Johnson's Giant Food concession stand of the year. All 11 of our concession stands received a $100 gift card, including Spring Garden, so that will help them buy some supplies and things like that. And we hit 11 schools this year. We're going to hit 11 different schools next year. So you just get ready. If we didn't come to your concession stand this year, we will be there in 2024. Marcus Woods, Tip-Off Club President, Spring Garden High School, our Johnson's Giant Food concession stand of the year because of that right there, the steak sandwich. Back in just a moment.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Anderson Orthopedic Associates is the longest standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
There's a lot to think about when you're having a baby. Colors of the nursery, names, and most importantly, where to deliver.
We want a hospital that gives families a more personalized birthing experience.
With a compassionate team of doctors and nurses, and a hospital where my baby and I can instantly bond with all the comforts of home.
So where do we find all that?
Right here at RMC, the first designated baby-friendly hospital in Alabama.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Can I help make pancakes, Dad?
Of course, buddy. I absolutely love these cabinets we have here in our showroom. And as much as you like these right here, the options on this kitchen over here, I think you're going to... For real, Randall?
I love this kitchen.
Let's do a kitchen makeover in your home.
Fair enough. Seriously, guys?
We made you one.
Okay. We ought to do this more often.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
We mentioned our Anniston Orthopedic Score shirts when we were talking about our Ted's Fours and Beyond Team of the Week, and Anniston Orthopedics, longtime supporters of high school football Alabama's. After the game, they are the longest standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, and they have the Saturday morning sports clinic all throughout the fall months. 6 highly skilled, kind, experienced physicians, Drs. Vandervoort, Dr. Tippett, 2 of those, Dwayne D. Tippett and Dwayne Michael Tippett, Dr. Hardy, Dr. Wiedmer, Dr. Morris. They have sports medicine trainers that you see on the sidelines every week of local high school football games. They are keeping our players here in East Alabama in the game, continuing to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field. And time now to go back and update our USA Softball of Alabama scoreboard on this football Friday night with our local scores. And we're going to go to that right now, as a matter of fact, and tell you about, we'll have highlights of a lot of these games coming. Number 1 Montgomery Catholic ends Jacksonville season tonight. We'll have highlights of that game coming from Golden Eagle Stadium. 44-20, Montgomery Catholic beats Jacksonville. The Golden Eagles finish at 10-3. Wadley had a 14-0 lead tonight in Reform, but Pickens County is going back to the North Alabama Championship game in Class 1A. Wadley tonight falls to Pickens County in Reform, 18-14 in the 1A playoffs. Also tonight, number 1 in 2A, B.B. Comer playing on the road at Clark County. We're actually going to have highlights of this game from Grove Hill tonight from Prim Stadium. B.B. Comer beating Clark County 42-22 as they move into the South Alabama Championship game next Friday night at Legion Stadium in Sylacauga, taking on the Reeltown Rebels. Also tonight, this is now a final. Just came in. This game literally ended about 2 or 3 minutes ago. Number 2 Ramsey, they were down early and often, as the saying goes, to Moody tonight. But Ramsey comes back a strong fourth quarter, and they beat Moody 40-27. Ramsey, your defending Class 5A state champions. They're back in the North Alabama Championship game of Class 5A. They beat Moody tonight at Bill Morris Stadium in Moody 40-27. We will have tons of highlights. My crew was at that game. We were at Moody tonight, and we'll have highlights of that coming up on After the Game. Also tonight, a missed extra point by West Morgan. That was the difference. Number 4, Cherokee County. They're back in the North Alabama Championship game in Class 4A. They went on the road tonight to Trinity in Morgan County. They beat West Morgan 28-27 tonight. Cherokee County playing in the state semifinals again next week in Huntsville as they will be taking on Westminster Christian. Also tonight, Coosa Christian, a rematch with Pickens County, a rematch of last year's 1A North Alabama Championship game. They win tonight. Coosa does. We'll have highlights of this game. They beat Hackleburg 63-13 tonight in Gadsden. We'll have highlights of that game. The difference this year is last year the game was in reform. Next week, that state semifinal game in Class 1A, that will be in Gadsden at Philip Ellen Stadium at Coosa Christian. And also tonight, Gadsden City, fine season for the Titans. Their season ends at 9-4 as A.H. Parker wins tonight over Gadsden City down in the city of Birmingham, and that was by a score of 35-20. And we are back on High School Football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Jon Holder, Coach Michael Short, Chad Barnett, our entire hardworking team with you here on this Football Friday night, and we want to bring in a very special guest at this time. Whitney Lackey is here from Alabama Teachers Credit Union. You see that right there? I'm pointing to it. That is our ATCU bottom line. We give you all our local scores every Friday night throughout the night as we have guests and things like that going on. And that's presented by the folks at Alabama Teachers Credit Union. Also a part of our Before the Game, one of our sponsors of our Thursday night show Before the Game. Whitney, thank you for being here with us tonight on High School Football Alabama.
Glad to see it. Yeah.
This is, you are great supporters. I've been a member of Alabama Teachers Credit Union for a long time. And I know how involved you are with the high schoolers and even elementary school kids. I mean, you start them early. Tell us about the way that you're involved with the high schools and even the elementary schools throughout East Alabama.
Yeah, so we do lots of different things. We offer, of course, youth accounts starting at birth that do a lot of different things. They pay for grades. We offer contests where they can win things. So lots of things for elementary schools. They can win competitions that we cater their classroom. We buy school supplies for the teachers. And then as far as high school, something we're really kind of growing in is financial literacy for high school students, especially in certain areas in East Alabama. Financial literacy is something that we don't have a lot of, and we're working with high schools to kind of build that for their future as well.
You have I think a Save-A-Saurus, is that right?
Yeah, so that's for the young children, and then it goes to Generation Next and then Synced, which is that level right before you move into an adult account.
Yeah, I think my daughter's one of those Sync members, and so she's set up and ready to go, and she's in college now, and she's kept that account, and that's, she's got that going. As far as Alabama Teachers Credit Union, you're all throughout. You're Calhoun, you're in Etowah, you're in Cherokee, and DeKalb, and all these places. And to be a member, it's pretty simple. If you want to get your child involved and be a part of this, it's pretty simple to be involved. All you have to do is work, live, and go to school, right?
That's right.
Is that right?
Either of those things, work, live, or attend school in any of the counties that we operate, or have a family member that is a member.
Oh, awesome. I think that touches just about everyone. One important thing, too, that I really learned about a couple of years ago as my daughter was about to approach high school graduation is you do a number of scholarships as well at Teachers Credit Union.
Yes, so we offer a few different ones, and as long as you have been a member for at least 6 months, then you can apply for those scholarships.
So let's see, May coming, graduation time.
Coming up,
And so December, that's about 6 months. So if you want to be eligible, if you have a high school senior that's going to graduate, they need to get going. They need to become senior, right?
That's right, yes.
Tell us about all the branches you have. Where are all the branches in East Alabama?
So we have a branch in Oxford, Anniston, Center, Gadsden, Albertville, and Fort Payne.
Awesome. Marshall County as well. And you're involved with the Anniston branch. You're the branch manager, right, at Anniston?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Tell us about all the fine folks you have out at Anniston, because I visit there a good bit, for sure.
Yeah, you do. So, yeah, we've got a great staff down there, and we do a lot of different community involvement. And so, come see us. We're happy to help anybody with their banking needs. Yeah.
ATCU.com. I've told folks on our Thursday night show, and I mean this, I think every car loan I've ever had has been from Alabama Teachers Credit Union, going all the way back to when I was like right out of college, which has been a long time ago, because the rates are so good.
Yes, and we run different stuff. Right now it's all about checking accounts. So, we have one that's Enhance Your Wallet, and basically, if you have this enhanced account and you meet the qualifications, the APY on that pays you 3.25% interest on up to $25,000. And so with that promo going on right now, if people get one between now and December 31st, we're also giving away $1,000. You know, we just gave away a cruise for a different thing, so lots of things going on over there.
Yeah, and let me just tell you, if you enjoyed before the game our Thursday night program here with High School Football Alabama, wouldn't be possible without Alabama Teachers Credit Union. And I also tell you, if you enjoyed seeing these scores on Friday night, scrolling throughout the night, our ATCU bottom line, with all the local scores throughout the night scrolling through, that also would not be possible without ATCU. So you go to your local branch, tell them thank you for their support of High School Football Alabama, both before the game and after the game.
Yes, sir. Well,
Whitney Lackey is with us tonight from Alabama Teachers Credit Union. We're going to keep that bottom line scrolling all night long right here on After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Back in just a moment.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. A place to use the gifts and talents God has given you. A place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
After 15 years of supplying top quality, name brand sports equipment and team apparel to hundreds of Alabama schools, coaches, and athletes, and continuing to provide custom uniforms, embroidery, and screen printing, Team Sports is adding a new player. Coming soon, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Whether you're an athlete in search of football helmets, bats, or even cleats, or an outdoor enthusiast in search of apparel from top brands, McClellan Sports and Outdoors has you covered. Visit McClellansports.com for more information.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
High School Football Alabama's After the Game on this Football Friday night, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Now we got all three of them here. We got Coach Michael Short. We have Chad Barnett here with us on this Football Friday night. Both of you guys tonight hanging out at Golden Eagle Stadium in Jacksonville, a 4A quarterfinal round matchup between Jacksonville and Montgomery Catholic. These two teams meeting for the second time in 2 years. And Chad, much like what happened last year, almost the same score. Montgomery Catholic wins again to end the Jacksonville season.
Yeah, pretty cool storyline heading into this one. You know, it's not rare that you see, or it's pretty rare when you see two Division I quarterbacks playing head-to-head in the 4A level. It's much more rare when both are quarterbacks, both are class of 2024 guys, and both are committed to the same school, the Troy Trojans, who will grab the bragging rights heading into their first season down in Troy next year. Go to the highlights and check it out and see what happened at Golden Eagle Stadium. They did have a little dap at the middle. They've definitely met, we know that, and both fine quarterbacks. It would start off tough for Jacksonville. They get a 3-and-out on the first defensive possession, but then they'd field a punt at the 5. This would lead to a safety, and that would put Montgomery Christian on top 2-0 early. Then with a safety, they have good field position coming back. Caleb McCreary hits the receiver for a nice touchdown pass, and he's showing off the arm and the leg tonight. That puts him up 9-0, but Jacksonville would make this a game, at least for a little while. Ogle doesn't find anything downfield, had a hard time hitting the deep passes tonight, didn't have much time to. Nice run for him, gives him a first down to the 30-yard line. Jacksonville now more offense. This time Ogle, he's going to be inside the red zone. The throw, the back shoulder throw. Look at the beautiful catch. It's just a phenomenal catch for Jacksonville. The concentration on that was incredible. So it's a 9-7 game at this point, and Montgomery Catholic back on offense. More McCreary now with the arm. That's another first down deep inside Eagle territory. McCreary now finally on a design run, and this is where this kid's going to make his way on the next level. And he has a nice run down to the 11-yard line, puts him up. Magnificent play here by Knight, the receiver for Montgomery Catholic. Just goes over the defender on the jump ball. They're up by 9 again. It's 16-7. Jacksonville, though, would have a great drive to get it down inside the 5. They would have 6 tries inside the 5 on this drive. They could not get it in, and so they have to settle for a field goal. Massive play here. It keeps it a one-score game, so it's 16-20 at this point. Let's go to halftime. It is now 23-10. Jacksonville is down. They get the ball first, trying to mount a drive here. They go 3-and-out, though. This would set Montgomery Catholic up with, guess what? Good field position. And this would be about a 50-yard run on their first play from scrimmage on the second half. This would put it in the end zone. The 2-point conversion would be good, so Montgomery Catholic is up 31-10. So a 3-score game. Jacksonville, though, would not go out without a fight. Beautiful drive, completed multiple 4th and shorts. They cut it back to 14, 31-17, but here goes that man again. He was just too much tonight for this Jacksonville defense. McCreary down to the 1-yard line, just getting out of bounds before he hits in there for a touchdown. Next play, he's going to go over the top and be in there for 6 more. McCreary with another touchdown. They would go up by 3 touchdowns again right here, and they would go on to roll tonight in the 3rd round of the playoffs as they are heading to the semis. 44-20, the final score.
Last year, I saw this same matchup in the 2nd round. We alluded to that earlier, where Catholic won 44-27. The thing that was missing from Montgomery Catholic this year, which was a big piece, was Jeremiah Cobb, who's now playing for Auburn. Actually playing. You'll see him play. He'll get some carries, I think, in the Iron Bowl tomorrow down at Jordan-Hare Stadium. And so you think, okay, they got a lot coming back. But man, they're losing a 4-star running back who's an SEC. But I go back to kind of the Tennessee in '97. They lost Peyton Manning. Everybody thought, well, that was their chance at winning the national championship. They came back with T. Martin and actually won the national championship the next year without Peyton Manning. It looks like that may be what's going to happen with Catholic here. Despite losing Jeremiah Cobb, they apparently have found a replacement. They still have a lot of pieces in place. And right now, you look. We'll go through our brackets here in a minute. But I think if you start looking now, Montgomery Catholic is the heavy favorite because Jackson got beat tonight. They're probably the heavy favorite now to win the 4A title.
Well, experience-wise, you would have to think that, you know, as far as they early in the ball game, me and Chad were talking about, they weren't really running the quarterback. They were letting him throw the ball and show his arm. And then once they decided to have some quarterback design runs, then he started making plays with his feet. And you almost felt like then that Jackson was going to have to score touchdowns every time. It was, you know, we see those games every Saturday where you've got to score a lot of points to keep up. But I have to give Jacksonville credit for losing all the seniors they had last year and to bring this team back and to get to where they're at in the 3rd round of the playoffs. I think I saw a shirt tonight. They have 11 years in a row. Is it 11 years in a row they've been to the playoffs? Clint and his Coach Smith and his staff have done a great job. You have to give them all the credit in the world just to get to where they were at tonight. And they finally just went up against a team that was better than they were. That doesn't mean nothing bad. Golly, what we got to experience for the past 2 years is watching one of the best quarterbacks that's ever been through East Alabama.
Absolutely. And, of course, as Chad, you mentioned now, McCreary and Ogle will now be teammates next year down in Pike County.
It's such an amazing storyline. But, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do with McCreary. Does he stay at quarterback? Because he can play anywhere he wants to on that field, like literally, except maybe nose guard or offensive tackle. But, I mean, anywhere athletically, he can do it. He is so fast. I wouldn't sleep on him being a quarterback on the next level, though, because he has a phenomenal quick delivery, lefty. I mean, he gets it out quick, and he puts it on target. That is the best team, though, I've seen. I know we have the Jackson highlights earlier this year. I didn't see them in person. This team, what do they rotate, 8, 10 defensive linemen?
Well, they rotate 8 defensive linemen. They play 18 people on defense, and they play about 14 to 15 on offense. And they rotate receivers in and out.
6'5" tight end receivers that can play on the out wide or on the line. That's just a phenomenal team.
The thing that caught my attention real quick in the game, and I said, uh-oh, and I looked at you, I said, number 5. They threw a screen pass, and number 5 made the tackle, and I said, well, the linebacker, boy, he's fast. And I looked, and I said, he's a defensive tackle.
He's a tackle.
The defensive tackle made the play on the screen, and we're talking about a wide screen. He made the tackle on the line of scrimmage. So those are the kind of guys that they have. They have a lot of dudes there, and I would say that they're the favorite now. But golly, after Booker T's done went and beat Hanley, and now they've beaten Jackson, something must be cooking down in Tuskegee.
There is, but I'm gonna give you a score here in a moment that is going to probably. I'm gonna give you a score here in a moment.
Same region.
Well, let's just say this too about before we leave Jacksonville, they won 10 games again. There have not been very many times where Jacksonville has won 10 football games in a season. They won 10. And let's also give some credit to offensive coordinator Jamison Edwards because they scored 20 points tonight. There's through 13 games, that's the most that any team has scored on Montgomery Catholic this year.
It could have been more because they were down there on a 1 and had to settle for a field goal instead of a touchdown.
It's almost like they liked the idea that the clock was kind of winding down. They were making, kind of shortening the game a little bit. And they thought for sure, because they had it down to 1 or 2, kept trying up the gut, couldn't get it. And it's like, but then they had a 5-yard penalty, put it back to the 7 on 3rd and goal. And that was the difference that really kind of changed the ability to get the end zone.
That points to me when I saw that just how well coached they are. Because in playing anybody else, Jats was pushing it, trying to score real fast. But they understood that they had to let this clock run and limit the number of snaps that
keep
Montgomery
number 1
Catholic
off the field as much as possible, right?
Yeah, and I know he's a quarterback, and we talk about being another athlete, but he runs very physical. He runs hard. He don't avoid contact. That tells me if he doesn't end up being a quarterback, he's going to be somewhere on that field doing something.
All right, guys, a good time now to go and look at our Class 4A brackets here. And we're going to go do that at this time as we look at our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden brackets. We mentioned earlier that Jackson, who we've been talking a lot about, has a great football team. They lost tonight to Booker T. Washington out of Tuskegee. So as Coach, as you alluded to, Booker T. Washington in consecutive weeks has now knocked off Hanley, who I had as the preseason number 1, and Jackson, who has a lot of folks think has been, basically, I think a favorite in South Alabama. They're out. Montgomery Catholic beat Jacksonville tonight 44-20. So the South Alabama championship game next week will be back in Montgomery, Booker T. Washington, and Montgomery Catholic. Back on September 8th, they're in the same region. Do y'all know what the score was?
A lot to a little.
Montgomery Catholic beat Booker T. Washington 56-6.
Oh my God.
So this is to show. Now they also beat Andalusia, the defending state champion, by I think about 17 points earlier. So they've already beaten the defending state champion. They've knocked off Booker T. Washington by 50 points the first time they played a couple of months ago. Jackson's out of it. So there will be a monumental upset if Montgomery Catholic is not at Bryant-Denny Stadium.
I know they say it's so hard to beat a team twice in a year, but if it's 56-6, do you really think that equates here?
But 2 years, was it last year or the year before, there was an upset. One of those teams got beat 18, 30-something points. I don't remember what it was, and they come back and upset them. Montgomery Catholic's been upset in the playoffs before.
Absolutely.
So their coach can point to that and say, listen, guys, if we want to get there, now we got to go through Booker T, because all you got to say is they beat Jackson and they beat Hanley.
Now we go to the north part of the bracket. Tonight, Westminster Christian. This was two teams not even ranked in the top 10 at the end of the regular season. Westminster Christian out of Huntsville. They beat Brooks of Killen tonight over at Killen 48-27. Meanwhile, a missed extra point. Coach always talks about the kicking game being important. West Morgan, the third highest scoring team in the state. They were averaging about 53, 54 points a game. Cherokee County held them to half of that tonight over in Trinity. Cherokee County made their extra points. They beat West Morgan tonight 28-27. So next Friday night, Cherokee County travels from Center to Huntsville to take on Westminster Christian, and that is going to be at Earl Van Dyke Stadium over in Huntsville. That'll be the North Alabama Championship game in Class 4A.
Cherokee County got up 14-0. And then West Morgan comes back and ties it 14-14. Cherokee County goes up 21-14. West Morgan comes back, makes it 21-21 all. Then West Morgan gets a stop, goes up, misses the extra point. 27-28, Cherokee County comes back late and scores to win. And give them a lot of credit too. Got a lot of seniors, been there and done that, and they know, look, we gotta do it. And a game like that sometimes can be the type of game that just catapults you into the state championship game.
Yeah, and Cherokee County will be the favorite, I think, in this game. Westminster's got a good team, but right now, it's looking like I don't do predictions here, but it's looking like maybe a Cherokee County Montgomery Catholic game in Tuscaloosa in a couple of weeks, and that's our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden Class 4A brackets there, as the South Alabama Championship game will be Booker T. Washington and Montgomery Catholic in a rematch. That will be in Montgomery, and Cherokee County and Westminster Christian playing for the North Alabama Championship in Huntsville. We'll be back with more of After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission, in just a moment.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team 1 Chevrolet. Team 1 Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team 1 Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Can I help make pancakes, Dad?
Of course, buddy. I absolutely love these cabinets we have here in our showroom. And as much as you like these right here, the options on this kitchen over here, I think you're going to... For real, Randall?
I love this kitchen.
Let's do a kitchen makeover in your home.
Fair enough.
Seriously, guys?
We made you one.
Okay. We ought to do this more often.
Back on high school football, Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Want to tell you one more time about the fine folks at Young Oil Grub Mart. They bring you the Muscle Team shirts. We've got another batch of those going out to one of our muscle teams next week. As a matter of fact, Grub Mart, they're adding new locations. They've got locations in Cherokee County, Etowah, Calhoun. They're down in Lee County as well. If you're going down to the Iron Bowl tomorrow, they've got multiple locations in the Auburn-Opelika area. So you get ready to fuel up to come back home from the game. Check out Grub Mart there in the Auburn-Opelika area. 3 or 4 locations to serve you down there. They have the Super Saver card, the Marathon Rewards card. Go ahead and sign up for that and get some discounts. Go to their website at grubmart.com. That'll give you all the locations for all of the Grub Marts here in East Alabama, bringing you our muscle team and great supporters through the years of high school football here in East Alabama. Back now with Coach Michael Short and also with Chad Barnett. Now, my crew tonight, we went to, guys, I have to say, I was a little bit impressed tonight what I saw at Bill Morris Stadium in Moody tonight. This was Moody taking on the number 2 ranked team in the state, defending 5A champion Ramsey. The atmosphere at Moody tonight, I saw some things I haven't seen before. First thing I saw at Moody was they have a video screen that is, it's the biggest one I've seen. It's the best one I've personally seen. I mean, the neighbors who probably built their houses there before they built this stadium are kind of wondering, what did I do? Because it lights up that whole neighborhood there around Moody High School. Another thing is, I'm not sure I've ever seen anything like this. They have 2 yellow school buses, and the team, they get on the bus at the high school, and they come flying. This is what got me. They're flying down behind the big video screen. And I mean, they're flying on this school bus up and not getting anybody in trouble here. But and the crowd goes crazy. Then they come down behind the visitor side, and I mean, they are flying in these buses down the visitor side. Then they come into the parking lot in the north end zone, and they park. And like you said, they're rocking the buses. I thought they were going to turn them over, and then they come on the field and run through the side. By the way, they had 4 tents tonight. Ramsey only had 2, Coach.
Uh-oh, that's not a good sign.
But Chad, that did not predict who was going to win this game, because Ramsey's going back to the North Alabama championship game.
Not bad. I'm going to have a little trivia for you guys here in just a second, so hang tight. Okay. Moody Blue Devils advanced to the 3rd round of the playoffs for just the 2nd time in school history. A win tonight would be the most successful run in school history. So before I go too far, what year and who was the head coach?
John Gross.
John Gross.
What year?
I want to say about 2006
or 4.
2004.
Oh,
not bad. I knew you guys would get to John Gross. Just don't know if you get the year. So 2004.
I helped him with some film.
But to have the win tonight, they would definitely have their work cut out for them, as Ramsey would come to town, and it's a phenomenal football team for a 3rd round matchup. Let's go to the highlights and check it out and see how this one took place. You know, the Rams have rolled so far in the playoffs, beating their opponents 92-7, including a 42-7 win over Moody's region rival Leeds last week. First drive for Ramsey, Christian Stinson looks to go deep and connects with Cam Keenan for a 35-yard pass. Next play, Stinson dropping back is going to connect to Ashton Ashford for a 15-yard first down. Inside the red zone goes Ramsey. A few plays later, Stinson back to the air and finds Keenan again, this time for a TD. Yes, he's in there for the score. PAT would be blocked, 6-0 Ramsey, as Moody head coach looking on to see if his team can battle back. Few plays into the Moody drive. Charles Johnston goes to the air, 57-yard pass to Aiden Robinson, who's going to be pulled down deep in Ramsey territory. A few plays later, Johnston, he's going to go back to the air again. This on 4th down, hits Darius Barnes in the end zone for a touchdown. Blue Devils take a 1-point lead, 7-6. Ramsey head coach Ronnie Jackson looking on. Great ball game going on tonight in Moody. Next drive for the Blue Devils. Johnson, he's going to roll out this time. He's going to be picked off, though, by Fletcher Taylor. He's going to take this one all the way back, 55 yards for the pick 6. 2-point conversion is no good, so the Rams are up, but only by 5. 12-7 is your score. Moody now on a 4th down. Johnson keeps it himself. He's going to pick up the 2 yards for the first down. Johnson now, this time more with his legs. A little bit more fleet of foot this time. It's a 15-yard gain for a first down. And a few plays later, Johnston with the ball back in his hands again, trying to make something happen, just weaving his way through the defense, and looks and finds a wide open Barnes in the end zone for the touchdown. Moody goes up 14-12 at the end of the first quarter, and that's when we would leave to get back in time for this show. Ramsey would hold on to beat Moody tonight, 40-27.
Yeah, Moody at one time was up in this game. I think it was like a 18-14 game, something like that. That Ramsey, it was that close deep into the third quarter. And I made the prediction. I told our videographer, Jordan Smith, coming back down I-20, I said, something tells me that Ramsey didn't play very well in the first half. And something tells me that Ronnie Jackson is going to have a speech at halftime, and Ramsey will come back and be a different team in the second half. That's apparently what happened there. Ramsey's got a lot of weapons. They're very good on defense. When I saw Moody earlier this year against Alexandria, Johnston was more of a pocket passer. Coach Gaines, they did a great job tonight in rolling him out. I think in every one of those pass plays you saw, he was rolling out. That is because Ramsey's not very big on defense, but they have incredible team speed. And so they did a good job of rolling him out, trying to get him away from some of that speed, and it worked in the first half. You saw a couple of touchdown passes, a couple of lapses by the secondary from Ramsey there, allowing those touchdowns there. But again, in the second half, Ramsey doing what they do. This is a very playoff experienced team, as you know, Coach, a team who won the thing last year, and they've got the goods to do it again this year, for sure.
They do, and the thing, we saw that tonight when we talked about Ogle having to, they cut the field down. So what they do when they don't really mind a quarterback having to sprint out and move the pocket, because what they've done is they've stopped him from being able to have 4 vertical routes or big explosive plays downfield. So they basically have cut the field in half. He sprints out, and you saw that. Yeah, they did come up with a couple of people that were wide open, but they didn't have those, what you normally would see with Moody, those explosive plays. They didn't have 2 or 3 of them a game, because when you roll out, everything's on the sideline, just short stuff, 20 yards and under. If you do have anybody that's deep like there, normally you have a safety that can come over the top and make that play. So, hats off to Ramsey. They've been there before, and Moody's got a good football team. I think that's who we thought early in the year was going to come out of that region. They come out of being third place. That just tells you how, really that region was more competitive than I thought it was. Now that they made it to the third round and played well, but Moody has not been there and Ramsey has, and there's a lot. That's a big plus when you've been there before multiple times. So, hats off to Moody. They've had a great season, but Ramsey looks like, again, that they may could be a run to another one.
And by the way, one last little note for you. When you're watching the Iron Bowl tomorrow, you saw that big, tall quarterback from Ramsey, number 4, Cam Keenan, the big QB. Keenan. When you're watching Alabama on defense tomorrow, Tim Keenan, the big nose tackle, this quarterback at Ramsey is his little brother. Yeah, so if you're watching that tomorrow at the Iron Bowl and you see Tim Keenan making some plays there at defensive tackle, just keep in mind his brother, he's a nose guard. His brother is the quarterback on that Ramsey team, who's headed to the North Alabama Championship game once again in Class 5A, taking on Guntersville. We'll have our 5A brackets coming up a little bit later on and tell you about that game. We'll have more of after the game in just a moment.
After 15 years of supplying top quality, name brand sports equipment and team apparel to hundreds of Alabama schools, coaches, and athletes, and continuing to provide custom uniforms, embroidery, and screen printing, Team Sports is adding a new player. Coming soon, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Whether you're an athlete in search of football helmets, bats, or even cleats, or an outdoor enthusiast in search of apparel from top brands, McClellan Sports and Outdoors has you covered. Visit McClellansports.com for more information.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. A place to use the gifts and talents God has given you. A place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Pee Wee Turner Motors, great supporters from the very beginning of high school football Alabama and after the game. They are the longest established used car dealer in East Alabama. They all began back in 1969 on South Quintard in Anniston, and 54 years later, thousands of satisfied customers. They are still going strong, selling quality late model vehicles. They will help you with their great staff down there to find the vehicle you have been looking for. They also have a rental division, and they'll help you not only rent a car, but a Penske moving truck or a Cruise America RV for that fun getaway. Go to peeweeturnermotors.net and then see them in person. Be a nice day tomorrow, maybe before the Iron Bowl. You can go out and go to South Quintard Avenue, 512 South Quintard Avenue. Check out Pee Wee Turner Motors, proud supporters of high school football Alabama's after the game. Back with Coach Short, Chad Barnett on this football Friday night. Class 1A action tonight. Coosa Christian conquers. You know, I look right here and it says Coosa Christian is 7-5 coming into this game tonight. But we know they're 11-1 on the field. Yeah. 4 of those 5 losses are forfeits. The other loss, first game of the year, is to a team that's in the 3A semifinals now. Yeah. So this is a good football team. And boy, we knew what was coming. They beat Hackleburg last year, 51-8 in the first round. Hackleburg coming back to Gadsden this year. Same result tonight, big win for Coosa Christian.
Definitely, we have a rematch of the first round of game last year in 2022 for the visiting Hackleburg Panthers. That's about where the similarities would end, they would hope, because last year, as you mentioned, John, domination. Coosa beat them 51-8. But we know the Panthers are much improved this season. Their scores prove it, the record improves it, but the Conquerors have been stifling. Since week 2 this season, they've given up a mere 19 points total. That includes the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Let's go to the highlights and check it out and see how the Conquerors would fare tonight. You know, what's funny is every game so far in the playoffs for Coosa this year have all been rematches of last year, and they have looked well in all 3 of them. First play, Jonathan David Justice connects with Grayson Malone down for a big gain for the Conquerors. Next play, Josh Hester. He's going to punch this in for the touchdown. Conquerors are going to be up 7-0 after the PATs. Good. Coach O'Brien hoping his team can keep the pedal down. More offense, Coosa, Kanan Wilson. He's going to take this one to the house. 2-point conversion, set up, Looked like a tricky little play. Almost got it in, but they did not. So the two-point conversion is no good. So they take a 13-0 lead at this point. Coosa back with the ball again. And it's just more Concord offense. Watch this one, though. This ball is going to drop and come right back to him. Good fortune for the running back, as Wilson will take this to the house. PAT on this one is good as well. Fans pumped up because their team is up by 3 scores. Wilson gets the ball again. This another drive, and this another Conqueror touchdown. 28-0. Shades of last year, again, here for Coosa. But Hackelberg would get something going here. Blaze Victory airs it out to Seth Albies for a first down. Next play, Vickery connects with Cameron Ingram in the end zone for the touchdown. PAT good. 28-7 now, the Conquerors. But that would not be all the scoring Coosa would do. Panthers back on offense. Hackelberg is on offense. Elijah Moats with the pick. They might as well have been on offense. They scored points tonight. It's gonna result in points here. Moats takes it back for the pick six. 35-7 at that point. And it was a different year. Nearly same result. 63-16. Coosa gets the big win tonight.
Last week we had Coosa Christian head coach Mark O'Brien with us on the show. And the thing he said about his football team, unabashedly, he said, our guys are angry after last year. They lost on a Hail Mary on the last play of the game in the semifinals at Reform to Pickens County. Without that Hail Mary, Coosa Christian's in the Super 7 last year. And they've been angry ever since. And then they got some forfeited games. I think
they got angrier.
I think that made him any happier, Chad. So this team is, you talk about a team being on a mission. That's kind of maybe an overused cliche, but that's true with this team. And now they've got the game I think they wanted. They've got Pickens County. This time, though, the game will be in Gadsden next Friday night. North Alabama championship game. The winner goes to the Super 7 at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. Guys, I know where I'm going to be next Friday night. I'm going to be over at Philip Ellen Stadium.
I won't be in Reform, but I'll be over there watching the team from Reform. And I hate to say this, but what happened to Coosa earlier in the year, with all the things that happened, we all know that. Everybody in the state knows that. It may have been the best thing that happened to them because it kept them from getting complacent. Because they're high school kids, and we're winning, and we're supposed to beat everybody to death. And we can't wait to get to Pickens, but somebody could have come up along and had an upset, and it probably just gave Coach O'Brien another way to say, hey, guys, I've always got something on you right here. Look at our record.
It put them back in a must-win situation early on in the season.
Yes.
So they were able to flip to playoff mode after they already had basically figured that they had.
It's been playoff mode ever since that happened.
And then they've had to win all these games. So, yeah, I think you're right, Coach.
Don't count out. Coach and I have talked about this the last couple of weeks. Don't count out Pickens County. No. I've said for a couple of weeks now, the road to the north in Class 1A goes through Reform, Alabama, through Highway 82. They've been there so many times. Wadley found out tonight. Wadley went in, I think, as a big favorite. I mean, they had beaten South Lamar, who was in Pickens County's region, 81-27. They go over there tonight. They jump up 14-0 to Wadley. And Pickens County scores the last 18 points of the game and wins at 18-14. So it will not be an easy out because Pickens County has been there so many times, but it should be a great game. You want to talk about storylines. There are probably more storylines in this 1A semifinal game next week than any game in the state, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be a great atmosphere. And you just look tonight, for a 1A crowd, it's going to be very crowded.
Oh, yes.
And Pickens County, in Reform will bring a bunch of people over to Gadsden next week by the Coosa River.
And there will be all kinds of folks that are not Coosa Christian fans. They've got a great fan base, but every football fan around this part of the state is going to be over next Friday night, I think, at Philip Ellen Stadium for that game. A lot of things going on there next Friday night. And, you look at it, too. You had a good observation there. Great stat that Chad gave you about they've been in a rematch in all 3 of their first-round games. Another thing, too, that's unique about this game is technically Coosa Christian and Pickens County both finished third in their regions. Now, one's because of forfeits, but Pickens County was on the field, and that tells you how you never can count them out. You got 2 teams that finished third in their region who played their first-round playoff games on the road, and now here they are in the state semifinals.
That's why in playoff football, you can never as a player or really as a coach look ahead. You got to play each game because it's a one and done.
We've got some business to take care of right now. We've got a trophy here. We have been telling you all about a new thing we had this year, and that's the Oxford Festival of Lights Game of the Year. For the last couple of weeks, we have been giving you 5 games that we felt like were the 5 top games in East Alabama for the year. And we selected one of those games to be our Oxford Festival of Lights Game of the Year. And there you see it right there. Move my fingers a little bit and you can see that. It says Piedmont Bulldogs 22, Hoax Bluff Eagles 21 in overtime. The date on that, October 27th, 2023. Here's the highlights of the game shot by our very own Chad Barnett at the Field of Champions in Piedmont. And with what was on the line, Chad, I don't think that there can be any question. The way the game ended and what was on the line for both teams, but especially for Piedmont, this was our game of the year.
It was their game of the year for sure. And you know, how many times did they come up with big turnovers when they had to? I've seen Piedmont 3 or 4 times this year now. It seemed like every game there was a moment in which it looked like they were down and out. And then they would make a play like that. They would have their backs up against the wall, make a play, and then come out. And tonight, or that night, it was good enough to win the ball game. But just a phenomenal atmosphere. One of the best I've been involved in quite some time. And it was just good to see them find that old stride for a moment in the second half of the season.
Piedmont goes to the second round of the playoffs, and they don't even make the playoffs without this win and without a gutsy call from head coach Jonathan Miller to go. He didn't have to go for 2. He's got a good kicker. He could have gone into another overtime in this game, but he elected, coach, you've been in that position before. He elected to go for 2 and go for the win, and they got it, and they made the playoffs.
Y'all not going to believe this, but in my career one time, we had a choice at home to go for 2 or kick the extra point and maybe go to overtime. We went for 2 and got it. You know who we were playing? Hoax Bluff.
Hoax Bluff?
Wow. Probably Coach Rob.
It was.
It was Coach Rob.
Sure, it's Coach Rob.
All right, so Piedmont, the Piedmont Bulldogs, will get that trophy to them, our Oxford Festival of Lights Game of the Year for that October 27th game at the Field of Champions where Piedmont beat Hoax Bluff 22-21 in overtime. Congratulations to Coach Jonathan Miller and the Bulldogs. Speaking of the Festival of Lights, guys, this thing is awesome. We're now officially into the Christmas holiday season now. It's the area's largest light show. Proudly presented by the City of Oxford and First Bank of Alabama. Enjoy the drive-through holiday light show at Choccolocco Park, featuring over 1 million lights. And you got to check out, folks, Santa's Village. There, they've got all kind of things going on, like outdoor skating. They've got food trucks. They've got a chance to visit with Santa Claus every night. It opens every night at 5 p.m. It's going to be open tomorrow night. It's going to be open Sunday night all the way through December 24th. And you can get your carload tickets by going to oxfordlights.com. We'll be back, and we got a lot of brackets to go through, some more highlights, some more surprise special guests, and more as we roll on this Football Friday night.
Of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
After 15 years of supplying top quality, name brand sports equipment and team apparel to hundreds of Alabama schools, coaches, and athletes, and continuing to provide custom uniforms, embroidery, and screen printing, Team Sports is adding a new player. Coming soon, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Whether you're an athlete in search of football helmets, bats, or even cleats, or an outdoor enthusiast in search of apparel from top brands, McClellan Sports and Outdoors has you covered. Visit McClellansports.com for more information.
My dad taught me to fish right here years ago. But when an old sports injury started slowing him down, I knew we'd need to search for the latest procedures in knee and hip replacement. With physical therapy tailored to his needs, a dedicated team of doctors and nurses, and he'd want a fast recovery time. So where'd he find all that?
Right here at RMC.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at PeeWeeTurnerMotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
High school football, Alabama after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, great supporters of our area schools here in Calhoun County. They support all the local school systems in Calhoun County. They also support the arts and recreation and tourism and tourist sites all across Calhoun County, and there's a lot of those, and they've done a great job in improving our tourist attractions and improving our schools and just making our quality of life here in Calhoun County better, bringing you high school football Alabama's after the game, the Calhoun County Commission. Back with you on this football Friday night, back with the coach and Chad. We're going to run through a couple more brackets right now, and we're going to begin with our Class 1A bracket, and then we'll also have 2A in this segment as well. Our Class 1A and 2A brackets, of course, brought to you by Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden. Guys, South Alabama. We had #1 and defending state champion Leroy tonight. They were on the road at Brantley. They beat the Bulldogs impressively. I think we got that one reversed. It was actually Leroy 40, Brantley 18. Coach had a Coach had a heart attack here. He's like, my goodness, what happened to Brantley?
The river got destroyed tonight.
Yeah.
That's what I was worried about.
We'll get that one changed. Leroy beat Brantley 40-18, and they'll get Elba, and this is there's the change right there. This is the game everybody in 1A has been looking for this year. Elba with Alvin Henderson, who we talked about, one of the top running backs in America, only a junior playing 1A football. Elba tonight, they were playing at Maplesville. They beat the Red Devils 49-14. I can't ever remember, probably in my lifetime, Maplesville getting beat in the playoffs by 35 points. Elba beat Maplesville 49-14. So next week, the South Alabama championship game in Class 1A is going to be #1 Leroy and #2 Elba. They'll play at Palmer Stadium in Leroy. Leroy 12-0, Elba 13-0. And then, guys, in the north, as we switch to North Alabama, Coosa Christian beating Hackleburg 63-13. You just saw highlights of that game tonight from Gadsden. And Pickens County upending Wadley tonight 18-14. The rematch, the North Alabama championship game from that Hail Mary play that everybody talked about for a long time last year. Coosa Christian hosting Pickens County of Reform. Coosa Christian 8-5, ranked #9 in the final poll, taking on a Pickens County team that was not even ranked in the last poll. 10-3 coming into Gadsden. So guys, before we go to the 2A bracket, let's break down Class 1A a little bit. In Class 1A, the South has dominated for years, and it looks like that they have two great football teams down there again in Elba and in Leroy.
Yeah, it's been that way a long time. And for all these coaches tomorrow, those other ones have been there, and Pickens County's been there. Even though they're getting ready to go, they'll meet in the morning for for the semifinals. They have got a ton of paperwork they got to go through tomorrow, and they got to bring They're basically getting set up for a state championship game because they got to have all that stuff already done. So. Bless their hearts, the work they got to do tomorrow, just as coaches, and it has nothing to do with playing a football game.
really 4 great programs coming up, regardless of who wins next week. If you have Coosa Christian in Tuscaloosa, if you have Pickens in Tuscaloosa, if you have Elba or Leroy, any of those combinations, it's going to be a great 1A championship game.
Looking at the South bracket, you guys have talked about this a lot. It matters if you've been there before. And that bottom portion of the bracket, Leroy, Maplesville, Brantley. I mean, Lord, I mean, it's every single year, and it has been since I've known it, that those 3 teams are always in some form or fashion in it.
All 4 of those teams that you just mentioned, the South there, they've all been in the Super 7 before, multiple times down through the years. Coosa Christian has not, but that may be about to change next week. Now let's go back to our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden and brackets and look at Class 2A in the South. B.B. Comer beating Clark County tonight in Groveville. We got highlights of that game actually coming from Groveville. B.B. Comer wins at 42-22. Reeltown beat Cottonwood tonight. That was down at Cottonwood, 42-22 by the same score. So next week, the matchup that I think everybody's from about the middle of the season, since probably early October, has been talking about.
Since Reeltown took a trip to Heflin, that's when we were like, whoa, wait a minute. Who is this?
Where'd they come
from? What happened here?
I've heard from
And this is the one they've been talking about, right? I mean, ever since then.
That's exactly right. Reeltown will come to Legion Stadium in Sylacauga to take on B.B. Comer. I'll tell you, I've watched both these teams in person. I've seen Reeltown in person. I've seen B.B. Comer in person. This is going to be a great high school football game. Forget the A's. You want to see great high school football, you think, I don't want to go see these small schools play. I'll promise you, if you go to Legion Stadium next week, you're going to see a great high school football game for the South Alabama Championship. As we come to the north, we're going to see a rematch. Pisgah tonight beat Tuscaloosa Academy 36-29, and Fife rolled over Locust Fork. Locust Fork came in as the highest scoring team in the state, and they scored a lot of points tonight, but the defense just was not there. Fife scored 63 tonight as Fife beat Locust Fork at Paul Benefield Stadium. These 2 teams played in the regular season. Fife won 56-42 in the regular season. Last year, they played in the North Alabama Championship game. Of course, Fife, the defending state champion. They beat Pisgah last year at Fife by a score of 41-14. So these 2 teams now, again, meeting for the 4th time. They're in the same region, meeting for the 4th time in the last 2 years. It will be at Paul Benefield Stadium at Fife. Fife hosting Pisgah once again.
Having that task to go on the road and beat Benefield and Fife at Fife, man.
Pisgah hasn't been able to do it. They are 0-3 in the last couple of years. Fife is the juggernaut there. It should be a great game, though. Packed house up there. And again, just like in Class 1A, whatever combination comes out, whether we have Fife in Tuscaloosa, Pisgah in Tuscaloosa, B.B. Comer, or Reeltown, it's going to be a great state championship game.
3 of those 4 have been in it.
Yes.
And the thing about the South Alabama game, I know a lot of people says that B.B. Comer, they're a lock. Well, you remember last week B.B. Comer and Highland Home scored?
21-14.
Go back to the Highland Home.
Reeltown
score.
Same score.
Same score.
21-14.
Yeah. So that's a great match coming. I just wanted to, I know Reeltown's played on turf one time this year because they did it over there and it didn't slow them down. So
they did not.
It might. We'll see if the turf is going to slow them down at B.B. Comer.
Well, I tell you what, they look good on that turf over in Heflin, and they'll play on turf again at Legion Stadium down in Sylacauga coming up next Friday night in the South Alabama Championship game of Class 2A. Right now, it's time for our next Red Threads Extra Point of the night. We're a little bit behind on those. We're going to catch you up on our extra points tonight. Time for our next Red Threads Extra Point, presented and powered by the folks at O-Brown. The 2022, we've been talking a lot about it, the Super 7 State Football Championships set for December 6th through 8th at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. Wednesday, December 6th, will feature the Flag Football and Class 7A Championship games. They've got 2 Flag Football Championship games now. They're going to do like the 1A, 5A, and then they've got a 6A, 7A. So those games will be at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Then the 7A Championship at 7. Thursday's schedule will be 3A, 1A, and 5A games at 11 a.m., 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. And then the Friday games will be Class 2A, 4A, and 6A with the same schedule at 11, 3, and 7. Back in just a moment.
the Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
Can I help make pancakes, Dad?
Of course, buddy. I absolutely love these cabinets we have here in our showroom. And as much as you like these right here, the options on this kitchen over here, I think you're going to... For real, Randall?
I love this kitchen.
Let's do a kitchen makeover in your home.
Fair enough.
Seriously, guys?
We made you one.
Okay. We ought to do this more often.
We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ, a place to use the gifts and talents God has given you, a place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Aniston. Visit our website for details.
We've had a number of guests tonight here on our Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser, coming to you from the RMC Media Center here at Parker Memorial Baptist Church on Quintard Avenue in Midtown Aniston. Noble Bank and Trust, community owned. What's that mean? Well, that means that you're going to see a person there. You're going to see a face, a name when you walk into one of their branches. You're more than an account number. Here's the big thing. All the decisions made are local. Not in Atlanta, not Birmingham, Nashville, places like that, Charlotte. They're all made here. It's a one-stop shop. Checking, savings, loans, mortgages, lines of credit, services for both personal and business. They're high-tech, they're high-touch, and all their accounts and services can be tailored to fit your needs. Noble Bank and Trust bringing you our post-game pressers. We had a lot of guests this year on high school football Alabama, going all the way back to August, and those are all made possible by Noble Bank and Trust with our post-game pressers. Back now with Coach Michael Short and Chad Barnett. Time for some more team sports highlights. We promised you that we're going to take you all the way down to H.G. Prim Stadium in Grove Hill, Alabama, in the southwest corner of the state. We've been talking a lot about B.B. Comer. We've got highlights of B.B. Comer and Clark County.
Any river down there? Any rivers at all? Yeah. I'm sure there's one or two. All right, so it's been a historical run for B.B. Comer this year. Fresh off the state championship game run in 2022, the Tigers have been the proverbial team to beat in the state since early September, ranked number 1 since September. They only had one game this season that was less than a score or within a score. That was last week against Highland Home. Tonight, Clark County is up next. Let's go to the highlights and check it out. As we mentioned, B.B. Comer making the long trek down south. And we start at the first quarter. It's 2-0 Clark County leading. Clark County's running back Tamius Pugh hands off to Jashawn Stokes for the touchdown. Missed extra point, so it's still an 8-0 game, still a one-score game. And when you have Kamari Harris One score behind, front, doesn't matter. That big boy is going to get some stuff done. My goodness. Who wants that to have to tackle on a 2A level? More B.B. Comer, more Harris. This time he's just trucking folks. He's not going to take any receipts, throws an extra shot into the end zone. We got limited highlights, but my goodness, it's so fun to watch him run. I believe he's committed to Memphis. Is that correct on that? Just a phenomenal player. Marcus Herbert, former Weaver, great coach. We were talking about him a little bit, but man, B.B. Comer looking really strong tonight, 42-22 over Clark County.
These are the last two teams in Class 2A that have been to the Super 7 out of the South 2 years ago. Clark County beat B.B. Comer 14-7. Clark County went on and won the Class 2A state championship, beating Cleveland in the final at Protective Stadium in Birmingham. Last year, B.B. Comer goes to the state title game and loses. Tough game to Fife down at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn. And these two teams, the last two teams that represented the South in Class 2A, meeting tonight. B.B. Comer gets that win down at Clark County tonight. Talking about, there's some rumors out there, the recruiting circles, that even though he's committed to Memphis, that there's some SEC teams showing some interest in him as well.
I don't see why not. And it probably hurts you with all your film being 1A and 2A teams, but when you look like that, I mean, you've got to be able to play some football on any level, right?
And he's been to camps. A lot of times
Sure.
if they don't have film against him against other people. But he also went to some 7-on-7 camps this year against Hanley, Pell City, and Coosa. They all kind of went together, and people got to see just him jump. If you haven't, this is where he'll get recruited. It's gym basketball season. When you watch that boy play basketball and watch him jump. But if he doesn't get recruited by an SEC school, he doesn't end up going, I can see him going to Memphis, staying a year and showing out, and then hitting that transfer portal and ending up back in a bigger school.
Right? Yeah.
And that's kind of how a lot of these guys do it now.
And Memphis, good program. They won the 9th game, I think, today or yesterday, too. I mean,
Yes.
the Tigers got a really good program.
Well, I can tell you, I'm not a college recruiter, but just standing on the field by him in Silicaga last Friday night, just on the way he looks, I'd sign him. Guy's a beast in
And
act.
he can dunk a basketball.
Well, and it's not just, because some people, they look good getting off the bus. They don't play to that same level. He runs hard.
Gosh.
He's looking for contact. It's a business decision when you go to tackle that young man.
In the coaching circles, don't take this wrong, but someone like him, if you thought that he looks like Tarzan, sometimes and plays like Jane.
Yeah.
So but he looks like Tarzan and plays like Tarzan.
Absolutely. We are continuing now to take a look at our brackets. We've taken a look at 4A and 1A and 2A. So now let's take a look at Class 3A now as we go to our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden Class 3A brackets. And again, we're talking about 4 teams left in the state in each classification except for 7A. They've already had the Super 7 set. So here it is, 3A in the South, Mobile Christian, #1 ranked team in the state. They're 13-0 tonight at home in Mobile. Ronnie Cottrell, former Alabama recruiting coach, now the head coach at Mobile Christian. The Leopards tonight beating Trinity Presbyterian out of Montgomery 42-21. They will get the defending state champion St. James. They have their quarterback back. They had a tough task tonight with Thomasville, but they beat Thomasville tonight 28-26, and that game was played at St. James. So next week, look at this matchup right here. You've got #1 ranked Mobile Christian, 13-0, taking on defending state champion St. James, coming in with a mark of 11-2 for the South Alabama championship game. That game will be in Mobile, so St. James will make the trip down I-65 to take on Mobile Christian. Now, let's take a look at 3A in the North. Geraldine tonight. They go to Rogersville. Lauderdale County, we saw them come in and beat Piedmont last week. Geraldine destroyed them tonight at Rogersville, 55-20, and a tough loss for the Sylvania Rams. Sylvania tonight playing in Madison against Madison Academy, and Madison Academy beat Sylvania, and that game was very close. I think it was tied 28-28 at one point in time. Madison Academy wins. They score late to win it 35-28. So next week, Madison Academy, ranked #2 in the last poll. They're 13-0. They come to Coolidge-Isbell Stadium in Geraldine to take on the Bulldogs, ranked #8 in the last poll. Geraldine's only loss was to Sylvania. So Madison Academy and Geraldine next week, guys.
Should be a great one. I want to jump back down to the Mobile Christian and Ronnie Cottrell. If you remember, about a week or 2 weeks before the season started, his best player Alabama commit.
Sterling Dixon.
Left and transferred to Spanish Fort.
And here they are still in the South Alabama championship game.
And he's out. You just never know. But I'm saying his best player transfers out, and they're still ranked #1. And I mean, look at the people in the South that have been there before. We've been talking about that in every bracket. All 4.
Mobile Christian's been there. St. James won it last year. The
Trinity.
quarterback's back. Jackson's back at quarterback.
Trinity's won it before.
Madison Academy
Madison
been there many
Academy's
times.
won it.
Geraldine is the team that has never been there before, but we've seen Geraldine play, and that's a quality football team.
To me, 3A, along with, I've said it all year, I've looked at it all year, 3A is loaded with teams that have been there before. There's a lot of teams, especially in the South right there.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of teams in that top 10 that have been there and done that before.
We'll be back in just a moment with more after the game.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated. Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
There's a lot to think about when you're having a baby. Colors of the nursery, names, and most importantly, where to deliver.
We want a hospital that gives families a more personalized birthing experience.
With a compassionate team of doctors and nurses, and a hospital where my baby and I can instantly bond with all the comforts of home.
So where do we find all that?
Right here at RMC, the first designated baby-friendly hospital in Alabama.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Aniston.
Can I help make pancakes, Dad?
Of course, buddy. I absolutely love these cabinets we have here in our showroom. And as much as you like these right here, the options on this kitchen over here, I think you're going to... For real, Randall?
I love this kitchen.
Let's do a kitchen makeover in your home.
Fair enough.
Seriously, guys?
We made you one.
Okay. We ought to do this more often.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
We are back on high school football, Alabama, after the game. Such great football tonight. I'm getting all choked up about it. It's end of the season.
I almost coughed.
It's end of the season, and I'm getting so emotional. I'm getting choked up about it because it's the end of football season. I'm also getting emotional, too, because we've got a surprise special guest for you. We've been talking about all these great teams in South Alabama. Been talking about all these great teams in the Mobile and Southwest Alabama area.
Those highlights.
There's nobody who knows better about these teams in Southwest Alabama than a guy that's a member of our high school football Alabama family. And that is one Gerhard Mathangani from WKRG Channel 5 in Mobile, formerly Gerhard. We got you on a triple screen here. Formerly of high school football Alabama's After the Game. Gerhard joins us live right now from Mobile.
missed this year. It's felt so different this year, covering teams here instead of covering teams there, and, going with Jackson instead of Jacksonville and others. And so it's just been here, but you guys, our show, fifth quarter ends at I will do our, and then after that, so it's been phenomenal. It's been different.
Gerhard, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And, it's awesome what you've been doing down with your fifth quarter show. I think that's the name of the show down there at WKRG Channel 5 in Mobile. First, before we get into it, tell the folks what you do. Folks here in East Alabama have been missing you. Some folks have been keeping up with you, but some folks also maybe they don't know exactly what you've been doing and what you've been down there for several months now in Mobile. Tell folks exactly what you're doing at Channel 5 in Mobile.
Yeah, thanks, John, for that platform, because it really all started with after the game and how I was able to make the transition down here. Of course, I was there for about 12 years, 13 years, all told. And honestly, I'm doing a lot of the same things that I was actually doing when I was there, part of a news broadcast. And so now I'm the weekend sports anchor. But actually, Simone Eli used to work at CBS 42 in Birmingham. She's married to Bart Sessions, who was the coach at Gadsden City. He's now the coach at Alma Bryant High School. And we are the sports team down there. And so we tag team all of our shows. So sports is in every show from Sunday to Saturday and every day in between. And so we do our show 6 o'clock, 6:30, 9, and 10. So we're part of two different programs. One is the CW and one is CBS WKRG News 5. And so doing a lot of high school football. We launched a brand new show this year. You mentioned the fifth quarter show is the show that basically was born out of, hey, we want to do a high school football show. They were doing a high school football show before, but they wanted to reinvent it. And a lot of the ideas were the same things that we had there and we were sharing there in Northeast Alabama, promoting local schools, talking to local coaches. And so we did a spring special that fed right into the year. And we just had our I think our final fifth quarter show going into the off season. We'll do some highlights next week of our games, but as far as a full show, tonight was our final one. But it's been an adjustment, but it's been really cool.
Gerhard, we got some guys here that you know very well. Coach Michael Short, Chad Barnett, of course, all our folks behind the scenes as well. I think these guys got some things to ask you about high school football down in Southwest Alabama and just about Gerhard Mathangani in general, Coach.
Well, the only one that's not coughing asked the question right now.
Chad misses you so much he's all choked up right now. He can't get over it. Look, we used to talk about football in the South, and now that you're down there, you get to see it every night, every weekend. Has to be the biggest upset of the year tonight in Jackson, Alabama. Give us an idea what you've heard about that ball game, maybe what would have happened.
I'm sorry, Coach. I could barely hear what you were talking about. Were you talking about the Jackson game?
Yes. Give us an idea what you've heard and what you were able to find out about that ball game tonight, because that has to be the biggest upset of the year, that game tonight.
Most certainly. Jackson going into this matchup was not only, in my opinion, the best team in 4A, but you can make an argument one of the better teams in 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A. They beat Davison to end the season. Going into the playoffs, they were averaging about 45 points per game. And we knew this game would be really tough. But last week's game against Andalusia, I felt was the game that I felt a lot of people thought, okay, well, that's your 4A South championship. That's the game that was going to make the determination of who was going to go to the 4A state championship out of the South. Booker T. Washington is a team that I don't think a lot of people had on their brackets going very far all the way through. And today they had a 14-10 lead. And unfortunately, we couldn't make it up to Tuskegee. And we were trying to hook up with one of our sister stations to get us those highlights to see how the game unfolded up there at Tuskegee. But some things fell through with some of their photographers falling ill. And so we didn't get the highlights there, but we found out that Jackson was able to get a lead late in the game. But it ended up being Booker T. Washington was able to do just enough, make enough plays down the stretch in order to come away with the win. You said it. Upset of the year, I think shock of the year. I think a lot of people thought whoever won Jackson Andalusia was going to represent the South for sure and play, whether it's Catholic Montgomery maybe a Jacksonville up there as well. And so I think the shocker around the state is this Jackson team not only scoring 17, not only not even getting half of what they have been getting, but at the same time too, also being upset by this Booker T. Washington team. But hats off to Booker T. Washington, they were able to get it done.
I have to ask you this, and you'll probably agree with me. I know Jackson in the past, they've been there before. Jackson's done that before, but they are such a young football team. I mean, they've got freshmen that have just been offered this week to Georgia, and their quarterback, and so they've got 9th and 10th graders all over the roster. So that may have had a whole lot to do with if you haven't been there before, and I know Booker T hasn't, but now you got 2 schools really that hadn't been there before. So Booker T, I don't know their roster; they may have been a little older.
Right. You talk about experience a lot, and it really matters at this time of year, and especially I think after you win a big game. They beat an Andalusia team last week that was really, really good, really deep, talented as well. But there's a different feel when it comes to these games. We've seen that with the likes of Piedmont. I heard the show earlier when you guys were talking a little bit about the teams down south here, Leroy's, Brantleys, Sweetwaters, Elbas, the teams that have made these long runs in the playoffs. That experience really helps. And whether you were there as an 8th grader and as a manager of the football team, or if you were there as a player, just that experience really helps. This is a really young ball club. I expect them to be back once again. But this year, Booker T. Washington got the best of them. And yes, I would love to see the makeup of their team to find out how many upperclassmen they relied on here in this big playoff game.
Gerard, I know that this chat, by the way, I know that you've seen a lot of really big, high-profile games this year. I actually texted you earlier this year when you had to go, I think, cover the Saraland game. Tell me about that receiver and why is he considered the best receiver ever to come out of this state?
Chad, he's got everything. He's one of those players to me that walking off the bus, he looks like a great athlete, but he doesn't necessarily blow you away as far as size is concerned. But then you watch him run, and the top end speed that he has is off the charts. But the way he's able to move and maneuver in and out of his breaks is really strong as well. So any quarterback loves him because you could put the ball anywhere in his vicinity and he'll come down with a football. But then any play caller loves him because anything that you scheme up, he will run it to perfection. That's his game. I think that's the reason why he's number one. He's been a 5-star for a really long time. But I think one of the reasons why a lot of the coaches really like what he's been able to do over the course of the last few years is that he's been so polished. And I think that's his game. His game is really polished, but then he can hit you with a big play. Today was a perfect example of that. They played Hillcrest Tuscaloosa. Got a chance to hear from head coach Jeff Kelly after the game. They put 3 safeties back there. They were making sure that KJ was not going to be able to hit Ryan Williams deep. They dinked the entire game, and then about the third quarter, late in the third quarter, they got Ryan Williams on basically a little tunnel screen, a little slant, and he was gone. And he's one of those players to me that I think will just really flourish on the next level because he brings the polished elements to the game that you really want with the speed and the fluidity through his route running. And I think Coach can really talk about that more and how much that helps a quarterback and how much that helps a play caller run your offense and design the schemes that you're going with because he's not out there just, hey, Ryan, go out there and run a fly, go run a 9. He's not that guy. You can ask him to do anything within the scheme of the offense, and that makes him so versatile. So you can line him up in the slot. You can line him up in the backfield. You can line him up outside the numbers, and he can hit you with a big play from anywhere. He's the real deal, and Bama fans, as of right now, you'll be happy to see him over the next few years.
Hold on. You said as of right now. Do you have something that we don't know? Is there something you're going to break here?
You never know.
With me, it's always pen to paper and on campus. That's when I'll believe it. So we'll see. But he's been hardcore to Alabama this entire time. So I fully expect him to be in that crimson and white.
All right, I got to ask you another question. You probably thought, are you going to go there? Yes, I'm going to go there.
I think I know where you're going.
Tell me a little bit. I don't know a lot about 5A football. Can you give me an idea about what's going on with 5A football on the beach? Basically, tell me. Gulf Shores. I was there a couple of weeks ago.
Number one team in the state.
Give me an idea of what you think.
Say it with your chest, Coach.
Okay,
tell me something about Gulf Shores. That's what I want to know.
So it's so ironic that I'm down here now because obviously for anybody that's been following high school football closely over the last 2 to 3 years, you kind of know the backstory about this. And if not, it's well documented. Google WKRG and Gulf Shores, and you'll see a lot of information there. But this is a really good football team. I mean, let's just make no bones about it. This is a really good football team that Coach Hudspeth has put together. And they've just, to me, what they've been able to do is build a good defense and then help their offense really come strong over the last, I would say, 6 to 8 weeks. And it's been an offense that has playmakers, but to me, not necessarily an offense that has been able to hit you with 30, 40 points per game. Over the last few weeks, their defense and their special teams has scored a lot. And, Coach, you know that if you can get your defense and your special teams scoring points, it takes the pressure off your offense because now your defense is getting you points that they will defend. And when you have a really good defense defending a 14, 21, 28-point lead manufactured by your defense and your special teams, then you're in really good shape. That, to me, is the core of this team. Have a lot of shutouts this year with their first-team defense. I know their backup guys and their JV guys have come in, and some of them have allowed other points. So the scores have looked a little bit different. But, you know, obviously there's the story on the field with Gulf Shores, and then there's the story off the field with Gulf Shores as well. I think a lot of people can do some research on that. But it's an interesting dynamic because all four teams from Class 5A Region 1, Gulf Shores, BC Rain, UMS Wright, they all ended up winning that first-round playoff game. Faith Academy was the other one. All ended up winning a first-round playoff game. I think if you would have put Viger in there as well, they'd have done the same thing. It was really deep all season long. And so for Gulf Shores to be able to come out of that as region champions is one thing. Undefeated is something even more amazing because they had a tough non-region schedule. And then to be here one game away from the state championship, their first ever in school history, speaks a lot to what that program is doing.
I was going to ask you, here I am breaking in again, but I talked to Gerhard. I like to ask a lot of questions. When I was going to mention the kicking game because I think one night you had showed me, and I get to watch y'all's show. I watch y'all's show too when I get home. Is y'all were giving away plays of the week from players, right. And Ronnie Royale had returned a kickoff for a touchdown in one of those games, and that's where I got to seeing that. And it seems like every week he's doing something in the kicking game, not just offense or defense, but in the kicking game. And to me, that's what you got to have. And from here on out, semifinals on, every one of those teams are going to have a great kicking game.
You nailed it on the head, and you've talked about this has been one of your maxims. Our football coach used to call them game maxims. These things that you have to be good at to be a good football team late in the season. And one of them is the kicking game. And he's an absolute playmaker in the kicking game. And they have a really strong kicking game in general. I was at some of their spring practices back in late May, and they were running the kicking game like they would run a kicking game in the 5th week of the season. You know, in and out of field goal, your punt units, your kickoff units, your kickoff return units, your punt return units. They were really sound in all of that, and you're seeing all of that right now materialize in the playoffs. Ronnie Royale, who you mentioned earlier, in one game, Coach, 2 kickoff returns and a punt return for a touchdown. So now your defense is protecting a 3-touchdown lead. Your offense hasn't had a snap. And so this is a team to me that really, you know, that it's not just a throwaway part of the game. It is a very, very integral part of what they're trying to do there.
All right, Gerhard, we running out a little bit of time here, but I know very quickly, can you tell us about a couple of more teams that are in the state semifinals from the South? That's Leroy in 1A and Mobile Christian in 3A. Your impressions of those two teams?
Yeah, Leroy is the exact same Leroy team that we have seen plenty of times before. This is a team that's physical, as Coach mentioned, good on special teams. Very, very good on special teams. They had a kickoff return for a touchdown just last week. Once again, back in that state championship picture. And this is another team, too, that we talked about earlier, that whenever you have a team, in my opinion, that has been there before, we talked about it earlier with Jackson, when you have a team that's been there before, the big thing is the experience factor and how much that helps you as you move forward. Leroy, every one of these seniors on this team, every senior on this team has had playoff experience, either as a manager, as a player, as a kid. They've seen these teams make state championship run year after year after year. That team is really good. I heard you mention earlier with Mobile Christian, lost their best player, Sterling Dixon, in the summertime, transferred over to Spanish Fort. And this team, at the end of the regular season, allowing 5.5 points per game. That's how good their defense was without probably the defensive player of the year, who would be the defensive player of the year in Class 3A, not on that team. it shows you just how good they are. But Coach Cottrell was really high on that defense going in. But Damian Gaston Jr. is their running back. Really, really good player. And their defense really sets up their offense. It reminds me of a basketball team that likes to press. And because they press so well, they use their defense to fuel their offense. So even when you see big games from their offense, as far as scoring goes, it's not necessarily high scoring. It's that their defense puts them in really good positions. And that's what Coach Cottrell's team has done all year long, and they did so again tonight.
Gerhard, thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate the highlights, courtesy of WKRG of the B.B. Comer and Clark County game tonight in Grove Hill. Before we go, we got some more folks I think you're going to know. We're about to show you that want to say hello to you. There's our whole crew back behind the camera here. You know all those folks, have worked with all those folks there, and they're all giving you a big wave from up here in Anniston, Alabama, here at our RMC Media Center on Quintard Avenue in Anniston at Parker Memorial Baptist Church. Gerhard, thank you so much for joining us here on this Football Friday night on After the Game.
Love seeing you three guys. Love seeing everybody in the control room. Miss you all more than you know. And we'll connect again very soon.
Gerhard Mathangani of WKRG Channel 5 in Mobile, our special surprise guest here on High School Football Alabama's After the Game. We'll be back with more brackets as we roll on this Football Friday night.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. A place to use the gifts and talents God has given you. A place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
After 15 years of supplying top quality, name brand sports equipment and team apparel to hundreds of Alabama schools, coaches, and athletes, and continuing to provide custom uniforms, embroidery, and screen printing, Team Sports is adding a new player. Coming soon, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Whether you're an athlete in search of football helmets, bats, or even cleats, or an outdoor enthusiast in search of apparel from top brands, McClellan Sports and Outdoors has you covered. Visit McClellansports.com for more information.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
Throughout the 2023 season here on After the Game, we've been bringing you our team sports highlights. Team sports very close to opening their storefront where you can go in. It's at Fort McClellan on McClellan and Anniston, 135 Exchange Avenue. I've been in there, folks. This is going to be a very nice store where you can go. But Team Sports does more than that. They service over 100 schools here in the state of Alabama with all the brand names, including Adidas, Under Armour, Wilson, Richardson, Rawlings, The Game, Rydell. They've got it all. All your sporting good needs. They have everything. They have apparel, jerseys, accessories, equipment, everything from scorebooks and jerseys to basketball goals and tackling dummies. And the best thing is they are locally and family owned and operated. They've been in business for 15 years, since 2008 on McClellan in Anniston. Team Sports bringing you our highlights each and every Friday night. Jon Holder back with Coach Michael Short and Chad Barnett. We're going to take a look at some more brackets now. Our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden brackets, Class 5A. Gerhardt was just talking about Gulf Shores. They had no problem tonight at on the road, actually. They went over to the Wiregrass to take on the Headland Rams, one of the surprise teams in 5A. Gulf Shores beat them 35-14. And maybe the game of the night, the best game of the night, maybe was Eufaula and Demopolis. This game was tied, back and forth the entire night. Finally, at the end, Eufaula won tonight at Demopolis 20-17. So your South Alabama championship game next week will be in Gulf Shores at Mickey Miller Blackwell Stadium, where Eufaula, 10-3, unranked in the last bowl. They go in to try to take on and knock off number 1 Gulf Shores, who comes in at 13-0. 5A in the North. Well, the game that we saw highlights of, the game I was at tonight, Ramsey beat Moody 40-27. They're your defending state champion. And this maybe was the upset of the night in my book. Gunnersville beating Pleasant Grove at Chorba-Lee Stadium in Gunnersville 31-21 tonight. This was a 24-21 game. Gunnersville had an 85-yard pick six with 9 seconds to go in the game to beat Pleasant Grove 31-21. Everybody assumed it was going to be Pleasant Grove and Ramsey in a rematch next week. Instead, Ramsey will be at home taking on Gunnersville. Ramsey, the number 2 team in the state in the final poll. Your defending 5A champions, now 11-2. Taking on a 12-1 Gunnersville team, number 8 team in the state in Class 5A. I think Gunnersville's only loss was to Lee Osment and the Arabian Knights of Arab, 29-19. So, guys, as we bring it back here again, Ramsey, Gunnersville in the north. I don't know that anybody saw that one coming. And then you got Gulf Shores and Eufaula in the south. So you've got teams like Eufaula, who traditionally have been there. Ramsey's been there. And then you've got 2 teams now, Gunnersville's been there before and won it in 4A, but it's been a while. Yeah. But then you got a team like Gulf Shores who's trying to get there for the first time, number 1 ranked team in the state.
I would say Gulf Shores is a lot like Coosa.
Yes.
Very talented team that hadn't been there yet. Chad, I got to do this. Okay, we got 2 rivers.
Ooh, that's a lot.
and an ocean. Yeah. We got an ocean. So we got 2 rivers and an ocean going on this week.
And a big old lake. Gunnersville.
Yeah, well, that was my other river, the Tennessee.
Yeah. Okay.
Tennessee River, Lake Gunnersville.
Tennessee River, Chattahoochee River,
yes,
Gulf of Mexico, and then we don't have anything in Birmingham. I guess we got the Cahaba River.
That's right. And if Gunnersville eats as good this week as they eat last week, oh my goodness gracious.
Well, let's take a look now at our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden Class 6A brackets. And 6A, boy, there's some really dynamic football teams here. As we go to 6A, Saraland tonight beat an undefeated Hillcrest Tuscaloosa team 31-21. And Pike Road and Ben Russell, another great game tonight down at Ellick City. Pike Road wins the game 31-28. So Saraland and Pike Road, again, 2 teams that have been there before. They will play next week at Saraland. Number 1 Saraland, 13-0, taking on a Pike Road team who came in unranked. They're now 11-2. And then in the north, this is going to be a grudge match. Parker tonight beat Gadsden City 35-20. Clay Chalkville was a winner over Muscle Shoals 44-27 at Muscle Shoals. So next week, you got Clay Chalkville and Parker, 2 region champions. They'll play out at Clay. Here's the significance. Last year in the first round of the playoffs, not a lot of folks gave Parker any respect at all. Parker went in and beat Clay Chalkville. At the time, everybody thought was probably going to win 6A last year, and Parker went in the first round, one of the biggest upsets in the history of 6A football, and they beat Clay Chalkville 7-6. You think Clay Chalkville's maybe looking forward to the Parker Thundering Herd coming to town again? Oh, it's going to be a great game. A lot of emotion. This will probably be the most emotional game in the state next week. Parker and Clay Chalkville, big-time revenge game for the North Alabama title out at Clay next week.
And besides your 7A game, there may be more talent on that field
Oh, yes.
than any other game that we got going on. That game right there will have tons of Division I prospects.
Yeah, especially we talked about Parker's line a lot last week whenever they beat Oxford, was just loaded with talent.
And I think the big thing is, this is what's unique, I think, about Clay Chalkville and Parker is both of those teams, most of the talent is on the defensive side of the football for both of those teams. Should be, evidence last year's 7-6 game in the first round of the playoffs. Could be that same kind of game out at Clay as well. It's time now for our third extra point of the night. This is our Red Threads Extra Point presented by O-Brand. The Super 6, Super 7 State Football Championship event began in 1996 at Legion Field in Birmingham. The game switched to a rotation between Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa and Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn in 2009. Birmingham rejoined the event in 2021 with the addition of Protective Stadium to the 3-stadium rotation. Back in a moment.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Can I help make pancakes, Dad?
Of course, buddy.
I absolutely love these cabinets we have here in our showroom. And as much as you like these right here, the options on this kitchen over here, I think you're going to... For real, Randall?
I love this kitchen.
Let's do a kitchen makeover in your home.
Fair enough.
Seriously, guys?
We made you one.
Okay. We ought to do this more often.
Farmers and Merchants Bank bringing you, of course, our F&M Bank Player of the Week each week during the high school football season, and our Spirit Scholarship. We had those winners here with us live in studio last week on the show. You know, they have given out over $24,000 in scholarships to local high school students just in the past 6 years. They have been in business and serving Calhoun County for 108 years. They now have 5 locations in Piedmont, Jacksonville, Anniston, Oxford, and now in Center. And they've given over $5,000 back to schools from their Spirit card sales. They now have Spirit debit cards for every school in Calhoun and Cherokee counties. Farmers and Merchants Bank, great community members and great supporters of high school football here in East Alabama. Back on After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission, back with Coach Short and also with Chad Barnett. We're going to take a look now, guys, at the Class 7A brackets now. That's our last classification to go through. Their state championship game is now set. Tonight was their semifinal. The South Alabama championship game, Central of Phoenix City beating Mary Montgomery out of Sims, who had the best season in school history. They came in undefeated, ranked number 3, but Central of Phoenix City, Patrick Nix and his team, he might win a state championship and his son might win the Heisman in the same year. How about that? Central Phoenix City beating Mary Montgomery 21-7 tonight down in Phoenix City. And Thompson going back to the title game again. They beat Hewitt-Trussville for the second time this year. It was 21-3 in the regular season. It was 21-10 tonight down at Warrior Stadium in Alabaster. So coming up in 2 weeks now, we'll have a little less than 2 weeks, about probably 12 days away. Thompson, Central Phoenix City, one more time for the Class 7A championship at Bryant-Denny Stadium on the campus of the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. 1 versus 2. Number 1 Central Phoenix City, 12-0. Number 2 Thompson, 11-1. That loss came to an out-of-state team, so they're undefeated in the state of Alabama. This is going to be Thompson's won 4 in a row. But this is going to be their biggest challenge because this Central team might be the best team that Patrick Nix has had in his entire career, going back to the Pinson teams, the Scottsboro teams, and the teams he's had at Central Phoenix City. This might be the best of them all.
From friends of mine that coached at Enterprise, who has played them, said that may be and they've been at Spanish Fort. He's been, he's been to Gulf Shores. He's been a little bit of everywhere, and he said that may be the most talented defensive team that he's ever seen in high school football.
Wow.
Yeah, that's strong words.
I mean, he said their defensive front could go right now today and could get out there and help somebody out in the college level. That's how
if I'm Patrick Nix, and I've known Patrick a little bit over the years, going back to when he played high school football at Etowah, I just think if I win a state championship with maybe my best team ever, as the head football coach, and then my son wins the Heisman Trophy, I think I might just go ahead and retire. And because how are you ever going to beat that season?
Can't do it. Can't do it. And I mean, I think he's a lock for New York at least.
Oh yeah.
So
absolutely.
just getting your son to New York for that, that's amazing.
Imagine what a Christmas holiday it'll be.
And think about I think about all the frequent flyer miles that the Nix family must have, because every Friday he has a big playoff game or some big Friday night game, and then he's going out west somewhere to Washington, Oregon, California, Arizona. I think they played in Arizona last week.
It's a 5-hour flight from Atlanta to to Seattle. It's 5.5 hours. It's not a short flight at all.
No.
It's, and then you're moving time zones. That's a long year for him.
And there's a lot of organization to that, because you've got to make sure you got an administrator and another coach to show up. Well, they played tonight. Is that right? I think they played tonight. Or was it Oregon? I think whatever.
Oregon State, they played tonight.
Oregon State. So tomorrow he'll be able to. Well, he didn't get to watch tonight. I guess he'll see it, but tomorrow he'll get to be there, because he's got to be there tomorrow to get his picture made and get all that stuff ready for the state championship game. Yeah, for them it's already set.
Patrick Nix, I don't know how the guy's sleeping this football season. Not much of that going on.
That's a lot of travel.
All right. Now, speaking of great quarterbacks from the state of Alabama, we have produced a lot of those. We've produced a lot of those great quarterbacks, like Patrick Nix, played right here in East Alabama at Etowah High School. Another one of those guys is a guy playing right now. He's just a junior. His name is Mason Mims from Oxford High School. Still another year to go. You see Mr. Mims right here, number 16 for the Yellow Jackets. Committed today, as we understand it, to the Louisville Cardinals in the ACC. So a big-time Division I quarterback coming out of East Alabama again in Mason Mims. We all three have seen this guy play in person over the last couple of years. An outstanding high school quarterback, and I think Louisville has them a good one.
I think the biggest stat that I was reading just a minute ago, because I mean he's got great arm talent. I think anybody watching him can see that. 29 touchdowns this season to 3 picks.
Wow.
So you have 29-3 TD interception ratio, Coach. That will cure a lot of ails for any coach on the next level.
It will. And what drives me crazy as a coach is when people, and sometimes these professional analysts that get paid millions start talking about, well, they start talking to the quarterback. And they say, the quarterback's not doing this, not doing that. He's got all these great players around him. Yeah, he does, but somebody has to get it to him.
Sure.
And if he can't get it to him, those great players don't produce. So, yeah, it takes great players with a great quarterback to make things happen. Yeah, I mean, he's got as quick a release as anybody I've seen in a long time, and that's what's impressive about him is how fast he gets the ball out.
Yeah.
And especially if you go into Louisville, they do a lot of screens and things like that. So yeah, he's a player. But just think of all the quarterbacks we've seen this year. Like 2 tonight, we saw 2 good ones tonight at Jacksonville, and you got him. And there's a lot of quarterbacks we've seen on film this year.
Think about all the greats in this area down through the years. We mentioned Patrick Nix. We talk about Freddie Kitchens, Brody Kroll.
Been a few from Anniston too.
Steve Christopher through the years. Jason Jack Hayes. Had a young man up in Center, Alabama, who was part of their last state championship game, who won one of the biggest games in Jacksonville State history, and Mr. Cody Blanchard. And we could go on and on talking about the great quarterbacks in this part of the state of Alabama.
It's always, as long as I've been living here and playing ball, there's always been good quarterbacks around this area. It really is, to me, it's an underlooked area for quarterback play.
Absolutely. We have been coming to you all season long from the RMC Media Center here at Parker Memorial Baptist Church on Quintard Avenue in Midtown Anniston. Great folks here at Parker Memorial serving as our host each and every Football Friday night. RMC, if you're looking for primary care, they've got great care right here at Anniston, Oxford, Jacksonville, and Roanoke. To learn more, go to rmccares.org/family medicine. And time for our final Red Threads Extra Point of the year. Both the AHSAA All-Star football games are set for December. The North-South All-Star game will be played Friday, December 15th at Hancock-Whitney Stadium on the campus of South Alabama in Mobile. The next day, Saturday, December 16th, Southern Mississippi's M.M. Roberts Stadium in Hattiesburg will host the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star Classic. When we come back, we wrap up high school football Alabamas after the game for tonight and for 2023 in just a moment.
Years of supplying top quality, name brand sports equipment and team apparel to hundreds of Alabama schools, coaches, and athletes, and continuing to provide custom uniforms, embroidery, and screen printing, Team Sports is adding a new player. Coming soon, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Whether you're an athlete in search of football helmets, bats, or even cleats, or an outdoor enthusiast in search of apparel from top brands, McClellan Sports and Outdoors has you covered. Visit McClellansports.com for more information.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. A place to use the gifts and talents God has given you. A place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden bringing you not only our brackets throughout the playoffs, but in the regular season, bringing you our region rundown of all of our region standings each week. Let me tell you, they have the 2022 and 23 Silverados with 0% financing and no payment for 90 days, 2.1% financing plus no payment for 90 days on new Equinoxes, Blazers, Trailblazers, and Traverses. Now, let me tell you, these low finance rates mean you can save thousands in finance charges, plus you don't have a payment due until well after New Year's. Team 1 Chevy, 413 East Meagan Boulevard in East Gadsden, bringing you our brackets and our region rundown each and every Friday night during the high school football season. And it's come down to the end of the show, and it's also the end of the season for us here at High School Football Alabama. We still got the semifinals and Super 7 to go in high school football and the All-Star games. It's not over with yet, but for us here in East Alabama, it's the end of our program presented by the Calhoun County Commission. And so I just want to say a special thank you to all of our hardworking team. We say that. You see Coach, you see Chad, you see myself here on Friday nights, but we're about to show you some names and some people who really make this thing happen. The best in the business that you're going to find here in East Alabama. Jordan Smith is our director and does so many things I don't even know what he does. Charlie Hinkle is the same way. Charlie does all of our graphics. Every graphic you see, Charlie's responsible for making those numbers work on Friday nights. Then you've got Nathan Gober. Nathan is our tech guy, handling all of our utilities and things happening there. All the things that are happening to make everything go on this show. Kind of our utility guy who handles all the production work going on. Then you got Ashley Gober, audio, and also we talked about at ATCU bottom line. Ashley handles all of that as well. She works hand in hand with Charlie, getting all those scores on the bottom line, and then also handling all of our audio. Bailey Morris this year did a great job. Mostly, not all the time, but most of the time in Etowah and Cherokee counties. But again, doing a great job as one of our great videographers out there on Friday nights. Namath Pitts. Namath couldn't be with us tonight. He's out of town celebrating Thanksgiving with family and friends, but Namath, again, a guy that was one of our videographers. He was my right-hand guy on Friday nights, and of course, you know Namath with Pitts Pick'ems, presented by Big Woody's Tires on our Thursday night before the game. Namath, a brave guy to take on that role. Steve Jones, I will tell you, Chad and I can tell you for tonight, we wouldn't even be here, I don't think, without Steve tonight. And there have been many Friday nights where Steve has saved this show. He is our floor manager, handles everything going on in this studio, and an invaluable member of what we do with After the Game. Don Gober, another guy that couldn't be here with us tonight, he is on staff here at Parker Memorial Baptist Church. But he is kind of our greeter. He's the guy who opens doors, lets folks in, greets the cheerleaders, the players, the coaches, kind of does everything going on behind the scenes, handles all of our hospitality. Don couldn't be here with us tonight. He's visiting with some family and friends this weekend as well. Tommy Wood, you've seen him a couple of times on Friday night, but Tommy was my co-host on our Thursday night game, our Thursday night show after before the game, And so Tommy Wood, again, one of the great broadcasters in high school football in the state of Alabama. Glad to bring him on board to be with us in 2023. Just 1 week with us, but we have used him a couple of times over the last couple of years as a videographer. Does a great job of editing. He can do a lot of things. Kyle Routon was with us throughout the entire year on call if needed. We only had to call on him one time, but that 1 week he did a great job. Of course, Chad Barnett and Coach Michael Short, no explanation necessary. These guys, my co-host on the show. Chad also doing video, going out and shooting games, editing games, bringing you what we call in this business narrating the highlights, and then Coach Short with the coaching perspective, giving us that unbelievable insight from all of his years as a head football coach of what it's like from a coach's perspective, and giving us a perspective that you won't get anywhere else in high school football in this state on Friday nights. Katie Edwards. Katie, you're going to see her here in a minute, I think. Katie is never here on Friday nights. There's Katie, along with Ashley right there. Katie is our social media coordinator, so all the things you see on social media come through Katie, and Katie is also our sales director. And I just can't even tell you, high school football Alabama would not exist without Katie Edwards. Fact. That P right there on that jersey, that is not for the Piedmont Bulldogs. That is Pierce County, Georgia. That is Bailey Mars. Her dad, Swain Mars, former Gaston High School head coach, is now the defensive coordinator down at Pierce County, Georgia, in southwest Georgia. We mentioned Bailey earlier. You see Charlie Hinkle over there with that proud Jack State shirt. There's Nathan Gobert. There's Ashley in the background over there. And then we got Jordan Smith. He's our director sitting right there with the headsets on. And we have, I'm just telling you, I will not exaggerate, we have the best crew that you're going to find anywhere. A fantastic group of people here on this football Friday night. Oh, and Don Wilson. Don could not be with us tonight, but Don he's out of town. He's visiting family in Texas. Don has been with me for as long as anybody. Don is my right-hand man on Friday nights. When we go out to games, Don is right there every Friday night, carrying cameras, carrying tripods, whatever it is that we need. Don Wilson is the heart and soul of what we do here on Friday nights with me. People just don't even know what he does behind the scenes. So I want to personally thank all those folks for a great job they do. As good of workers as they are, I'll promise you these are even better people. And I have strongly believed, as folks know, you bring up any conversation with me about high school football Alabama after the game, I'm going to tell them the key to the success of this show, in addition to you, the viewers out there. And we want to thank you. We do not want to let this moment pass without thanking all of you for viewing us throughout the year and choosing to put those views on us through Facebook and YouTube. But the people that we have here, we have fantastic, high quality, high character people. That's what makes the show. And so we want to thank all of you, and I want to thank the whole crew for High School Football Alabama after the game. And before we go and get into the 24 season very soon, Coach Michael Short, going to turn it over to him to close out the show tonight.
Most people know the situation, adversity I went through this year, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to tell all our staff, we just mentioned all of them, how much y'all mean to me. In the hospital, you walked up, I'll never forget that. All these people out here. And I want to thank all the coaches, because, I started visiting schools way back in the summer, and I'd go watch people practice. Every coach has always come up to me and been very supportive this year to me. Every official from all over Northeast Alabama, if I saw an official, they came up and hugged me, and they were very encouraging. Players, cheerleaders, fans, administrators, everywhere I've been, people have come up to me and supported me. But even more than that, you people, the viewers. I want to thank you for wherever I've been. I didn't know some of these people, but they would come up and they would shake my hand and they would just give me a hug and encouragement. And I just wanted to take that opportunity to tell everybody from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Thank you, Coach Short, for all those kind words. And we thank you, our viewers out there, for choosing High School Football Alabama. After the game, a lot of content on Facebook and YouTube coming in the off season. But until next season, we'll see you. Have a great rest of this football Friday night.
After the Game is a production of Fairfax Garden Media.